And good morning. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I've got the scenarios up. Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio, at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter for you to check them out. All you got to do is respond, and you're in. Somebody will win a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill just for participating. It could not possibly be easier. What are you doing with your life and time that you couldn't just get in right now? Speaking of people who are in right now, look at this guy wandering in. Good to see him.
You know, we need
what?
We need some sort of like national story that really showcases Baltimore.
That's a good idea, yeah, right? Puts us in the spotlight, right? Like, tells everybody about all the good things going on here.
I just feel like if we could get something going on where the whole country was focused on Baltimore.
Right? You know what? It's a good point. It's a good point.
We should get like an F1 race here or something.
What do you want? I mean, I have no interest. I spent 3 minutes on it yesterday. I have no real interest in talking about it. What do you want?
It's not a sports story.
Yes, it's not a sports story.
It's a sports family.
But I mean,
sort
it's
of,
not.
Yes,
it's
an enormous sports family in our market.
Kind of. Not for sports radio. If it was a sports,
I mean, it is. I would say the only interesting thing about it from our world, you do it. I just come along and boost you up occasionally.
Is that what it is?
Is that their radio station yesterday ignored it because they had to.
Now that's
an interesting.
Yeah,
they ignored it.
That's
the only mention of it was when they went to a national
news update
and mentioned it, but they ignored it. That was one of the first things I thought of when it all started to happen the other day. I thought to myself, how are they going to...
But by the way, you're not going to like this because you're contradicting yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. You're not going to like it, right?
Okay,
you're contradicting yourself.
Sure.
I understand the point that a lot of people think they're making about, and the clip is of Fox 45. I don't know if anybody else did, going over and reporting from Gilman, but you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm wrong. I haven't even talked about it.
No, you did. You were on Twitter all day talking about it. I saw you.
Oh! You mean the woman that went over there?
Yes.
Oh, she's...
No, you're wrong. And the reason why you're wrong is because you are proving you were interested in how they were covering it on the radio station. You were interested in that. The same way that people were interested in, I wonder, oh my gosh, this person went to Gilman. I wonder what they are feeling over there today. It's interesting. Now, if the woman had gone over there and tried to say, did you guys that's one thing. But going over and reporting on this is what the atmosphere is like, this is what people are feeling, is absolutely not only not incorrect, it backs up the interest level from the community.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
But you know you're wrong because you were trying to find out what they were doing on the radio station, which has nothing to do with this story. Nothing. Zero.
The family owns the radio station.
I understand that. No one at WCBM is connected at all to this murder. No one. They're not.
The person who allegedly did it
had nothing to do with WCBM.
Their
nothing.
Family owns the radio
I understand that and went to Gilman. You can do this forever.
Well, I think you're wrong.
You're interested in it. Because you're interested in it.
But I don't think Gilman has anything to do with it.
And I don't think WCBM has anything to do with it.
But they have
you're
to cover
interested.
it.
You don't have to do whatever. They can do whatever they want. It's their radio station. They can do anything.
If the last name of that person was...
Yes, they would probably... I agree with you. But the point is, you were interested.
Right,
you wanted to know. You don't like it.
No. I disagree with you on that.
Because I'm calling you out.
You're not calling me out.
You were interested.
I'm sure, but the fact that he went to Gilman has nothing at all to do with the story.
I agree with that.
Okay, well, that's all you got to say.
I agree with that, but it has nothing to do with whether or not the person can report from Gilman.
But record that.
The two things are completely unrelated.
But there's no reason to be at Gilman.
The reason to be at Gilman is because the reason you're there is for the exact reason that you were wandering over to WCBM. I wonder what the reaction is. I wonder what's going on. I wonder how they feel. And by the way,
I think
if
you're
you go
way
over
off
there,
here. You're grasping at straws.
Not remotely. The same reason that you went over to WCBM, and who gives a rat's ass what they're doing over there?
I wanted to see if they were talking about it.
Right.
I didn't care what their opinion was.
Right, you wanted to know what was going on at WCBM, and somebody would have liked to have known what was going on at Gilman, where, again, they have nothing to do with it, much like WCBM has nothing to do with it.
All right, let's talk sports.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Let's talk
Knew you weren't going to like it.
Let's
I
talk
knew
sports.
this.
Because you're way off here.
No, I'm not.
There's a swing and a miss
You
from
just don't like the fact that I'm calling it
miss.
out. It's not that.
It is a swing
and to be
miss.
clear, if they went over with an agenda, then that's awful.
Well, I'm sure they did.
By the way, knowing who it is, I understand why a lot of people think that they went over with an agenda.
I'm sure they did go over with an agenda.
I get that.
Right.
But nothing about the report that was done suggests that's the case.
Is it just you yelling? Why is it so loud?
I can, if you want me to yell, I'll yell.
That was me.
Which one? 2?
You should be the one. Yeah, the 2.
1, 2.
I think you're 2.
Now you're turning everyone down, and that's not okay. Well, I don't need to be that. My God, why don't you come into your house and
Is
shoot?
that good? Is that good?
No,
Is
it's
this
not
good?
good. Where it was. Thank you.
Is that better?
It's better.
Can you send me the thing?
What thing?
The breaks.
Fine, I'll send.
Let's just beat up the Orioles.
Something. What do you want to do at the Orioles?
Let's just beat them up.
What do you want to do with that?
Can't we get on that and beat them up?
What do you want to talk about with that? There's nothing to say.
Are we getting better or not?
Hang on a second. Today's show is brought to you by the Governor's Challenge, which returns to Wicomico County.
What? Who can be the governor? Is that what we're doing now? We did that about 10 years ago.
That's exactly.
Anybody want to be the governor? And some guy over in the Eastern Shore said, "I will."
That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm glad that we've got to the bottom of this. The Governor's Challenge is back for 2024. The top high school basketball talent from across the country return to the Wicomico Civic Center December 26th through 30th for the Governor's Challenge, presented by Pohanka of Salisbury. Witness 5 full days of elite competition featuring over 140 high school basketball teams from 16 states plus Canada. Multiple top 10 teams and nationally ranked players will display their talents on the court. Don't miss the best experience in high school hoops. For tickets and info, visit govchallenge.org. By the way, speaking of the governor, I don't know if you saw, but they're working on something. Apparently, there's going to be a push to allow beer and wine sales in grocery stores in the state of Maryland moving forward, which would be a dramatic change from the way things have been. Although, isn't that the case in like Harford County? Don't they?
Well, and here's
are there
when you say grocery stores, I'm just thinking when you make. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. When you're going down 43 and you make a left-hand turn at the airport and you go back towards Bowley's Quarters and you make a right-hand turn on what is it Bowley's? I don't know. You make a right-hand turn right past the movie theater. That Royal Farms sells alcohol.
The one right across the street?
The one right when you make a right-hand turn where the movie theater is, going towards Bowley's Quarters.
Right.
You make that right-hand turn off.
So not the Royal Farms directly across the street. Are you talking about Benji's or are you talking about? Yes.
I'm talking about that movie
So the one
theater.
that's directly across the street from Benji's?
No, you make a right-hand turn.
And then you go further to the one that's like standalone Royal Farms. The one that's not, there's no gas
sell
station.
alcohol there.
Do they really?
They do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are.
So I don't know how that works. But
I don't know how that works either. But I do believe there are places within the state where it has somehow been grandfathered in, or I don't know what the story is, but apparently the governor has decided that he is going to support and push for all grocery stores in the state to be allowed to sell beer and wine.
Okay, and
now,
what's the pushback to that?
Well, the pushback would be from the liquor stores. The liquor stores would be the ones that would be pushing it back, who have a monopoly on it right now. They have a monopoly at the moment of if you want anything alcohol-related, you have to come to us.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what that means for them business-wise. If people can just go get their beer and their wine, like they would still be able to sell booze, but I don't know if these giant liquor stores, like the one in Abingdon, for example, I don't know how much
and
that
what's
would
the
dent
reasoning
them.
Behind that? From his standpoint.
Well, I would assume
who's greasing his
it's
pocket?
The citizens. I would assume that it's this is something.
So
that
this
people,
is a Sunday thing, also.
I don't know anything about Sundays
because Baltimore County, obviously,
100%.
unless you sell food,
yes, packaged goods.
you can't. I don't know that, but somebody told me that. But
right.
you,
how would you know?
Right,
100%. Apparently, there's all that was cited was the overwhelming support for alcohol sales amongst citizens of the state of Maryland. So,
okay.
Again, it seems like if it's something that people want, it'd be a good thing. Like, now I get it. I don't really care. It's not something that bothers me because I don't own a liquor store. But
why'd you bring it up?
Because it's interesting.
Okay.
Believe it or not, every now and then I try to do that
Gotcha.
on
I
this
thought it
show.
had something to do with sports.
No, it has
Thought we
nothing to
did
do with
sports here.
sports. You brought up the governor, and I said, I
sports.
remember I seeing this about the governor this morning, and I thought
Gotcha.
it was interesting to the common person.
Gotcha.
And it would be
Take
a
it
topic
easy.
worth discussing.
Stop getting so mad.
And yeah, you over here, you're way off. I don't drink anymore, so this doesn't impact me any longer. This is no longer my area.
By the way, thanks a lot, Braden Point, for not scoring a goal last night for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm sure we were all thinking that too. That was a hot topic. I wasn't speaking of sports. This is you doing that bit where you're looking at your phone.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
You're not
before.
paying attention.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened in our life.
What, betting on
sports
sports?
gambling?
Yeah. Well, you were doing it before, way before it was.
Yeah,
legal,
but it was better then.
Why was it better then?
Because you couldn't do all of this.
Oh, okay.
You just had to bet on who would win and
now
who
it's
would lose.
Too much access for you.
There's
too much
you can
access
bet on
for you to be
anything.
wrong. Too much access for you to lose.
You can bet on will there be a goal scored in the next 3 minutes.
That's fact. Yes.
It's outrageous.
Right? And why do you? But you don't have to do it. You understand that just because you're allowed to, that doesn't mean that you have
but you
to
pretty
do
much
it.
have to.
No, you don't. I promise
I mean, if you want to be cool, you do.
Life will remain the same if you choose not to participate in sports betting.
Gary
I promise
Sanchez,
you.
will he be here after June 1st
Who
or not?
cares? Who cares?
I'm taking the no.
Great. Wonderful.
What did we bet a Chinese lunch on last week? Do you remember?
Son of a bitch.
Because I think I won.
I don't remember. I don't think you did. I don't think it was one that you could win in a week.
I think I won. Have
You
something
need
to
to
do
get
with
to
the Steelers?
I don't remember.
I think I won. I remember saying to myself, I think I won that.
I don't remember what it had to do with. Griffin's going to be in charge
Was
of
it
that, figuring
Maryland
that out today.
basketball?
No, I don't think it was one that we were going to get a resolution to right now. I think it was something that was longer term than that. He's not going to work on it. We're going to have to.
I don't know what it was.
After the show, you're going to have to go back through and comb through.
I gotta watch
figure,
last week's show.
and figure out what it was that we bet. Because I do remember thinking, I'm going to get a Chinese lunch out of this. Because it was something we didn't have to bet the other side of. It was just him. Only he was betting the Chinese
I'm
lunch.
pretty good at writing it down. I don't look. Doesn't
Yeah,
look like I did.
Yeah, well.
By the way, there was a point a week ago when if he had a hoodie on and a hat,
yeah, he would have been arrested.
I was
He would have
thinking,
Yeah.
where were you on that day?
Might have found the guy. Might have found him. You thought that was the
He's
case.
got a little bit of that look.
He wishes.
How
This guy.
How about his attorney yesterday saying,
You are really interested.
I've seen
in
no.
this.
Well, of course
You
I'm
are
interested.
not-
I know the family.
You're really interested. in this.
How about when he said, I've seen no evidence at all to support the charges
There you go.
against.
There you go.
How about this guy's
They
15 minutes?
probably got the wrong guy.
How about this dude's 15 minutes of fame?
I have a friend who's from Altoona, and it's like this guy is.
It is my cousin Vinny, right?
Yes, 100%.
Totally.
This guy is the guy that runs cheesy commercials all the time.
100%.
This is the guy that's in your.
100%.
He's local celebrity.
This is his 15 minutes
You
of fame.
roll your eyes every time you see this guy on your TV. I have no idea how he's the attorney. No. And by the way, why hire
He
someone?
might be the only one.
But no. Have you met attorneys? Stop.
No, I'm saying he might be the only one in Altoona.
But they don't. This guy is going to be.
Altoona's as big as Timonian.
Yeah, the Altoona thing is the least of his problems.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, he had to hire somebody there because that's the first charge
I
against
understand that,
Right.
but that one's not going to be the one.
Right.
That one's not going to be the issue here.
Right.
It's the other one that's going to be the problem.
him. Yeah, the fake ID.
Yeah, that one. I'm sure. I'm sure that one's the one that's going to bring
We
it.
got you on
Better
that.
make sure you have an attorney for the fake ID issue.
But this guy's totally in about the 8th minute of his 15 minutes.
The attorney?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if the attorney's going to get 15 minutes, Drew. I think
Well,
the
he's
attorney's
getting it now.
You're the one giving him attention.
No, CNN had him on last
Where?
night.
Who watches that?
Plenty of people watch CNN.
Who?
All of us for all of our news.
Yeah, is that where you go?
The fair, even-handed way they
I
handle
don't
the news.
understand. Like, you're the guy that talks all the time about how awful CNN is, and then
They're the worst.
Then you're telling me about how you're watching CNN.
They're the worst.
What are you doing?
I just love watching them melt.
You are proving my point time and time again.
I love watching them melt.
Trying to get a balanced.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
From the other side.
There
What's
you
the
go.
other side
Yeah.
that you're watching to get the balance?
I don't have to.
You
I
know?
just watch them, and I know whatever they say, the opposite is true.
So
I pretty much know that about CNN.
is
Whatever
so
side
weird.
they're on, the other side is the right one.
I don't.
That's what I know.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch any
You know
of
what you
this.
need in here, by the way?
I get my news the way that
Food.
all Americans get their news.
Twitter.
Yeah, TikTok telling me what happened 3 weeks ago.
Right.
The number of push. I swear
Why
to
don't
God,
you guys have more food
I got a
here?
That's your problem. That's not my problem. I got a push notification from TikTok the other day.
I don't have
about-
TikTok. I'm one of the only people in the world.
Well,
I don't
we're not
have
gonna,
it.
We're not going to be allowed to have it pretty soon.
Yeah,
it's
not
going to be
gonna last
gone. Yeah, it's going to be
What do you
gone.
mean it's going to be gone?
Yeah,
It's an app.
they're banning it.
Yeah.
Who's banning it?
The government.
The world. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
What
not
are
a
you-
joke,
what are you talking-
by the way.
I'm asking. I don't have it. I honestly swear
Look,
I
the
do.
government's getting rid of TikTok because it's owned by a Chinese company that they think is a threat to the United States.
Glad
And
they're
when
looking
you
out
say
for us.
get rid of it, how?
They're going to ban it. You will not be able. They are going to work with
They're going to put a bug in it that you can't download it. I don't.
essentially, more or less. Basically, the companies, the Google and Apple, aren't going to bother fighting it. They're going to say, okay, fine, because that's what they do.
And what's wrong with it? I mean, why would we do that? I'm asking.
I don't.
It's a dangerous question to ask about
Yeah,
our
you're
government.
probably asking the wrong person.
Why are we doing
They
that?
consider it some sort of security threat.
Oh. You mean that they have all your data?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now, to me,
What's the
that's
difference between that and being on ESPN.com?
Drew, to me, the answer would be, well, if you want to give up your data, by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
then problem is my data somehow traceable through your data? Would be their argument.
I guess that's
Is
fair.
my Venmo traceable through your Venmo? Because
that's possible too.
Okay.
I don't know, but
I never
yes.
heard of it. I don't have TikTok, so I don't follow this. So we're getting rid of it.
Well, they're moving to. They have. I mean, they already. I think they already
Wow.
passed a bill somewhere that said the bill they passed said either this company has to sell TikTok, or they're going to ban it.
Who's they?
This Chinese company that owns
Chinese
TikTok.
that owns it. Gotcha.
Yes,
They're always ahead of us, the Chinese.
they do have a. They
Some-
are. They do tend
How
to
did this
be
happen?
2 steps. Why don't you go ahead and
How did
choose to
this
live
happen?
there and see how things are?
How did this
and then-
happen? How did they get ahead of us?
Oh, because things are going great.
They're not
over
better
there.
than us at baseball. Though.
That's true. Never won
Or
a single.
golf.
Never won a single World Series.
Or golf.
Yeah, haven't won the Masters once.
When's the last Chinese quarterback?
Yeah,
you've seen?
exactly right. I think they're so great because
Right.
they're ahead of us in
That's
technology.
crazy. So we're
and,
getting rid of TikTok. Wow.
Yeah.
you know.
Do people make money on TikTok?
Yes. Yes.
Individual
100%.
people make money from
100%.
it.
As
Okay.
TikTok influencers, yes.
Gotcha.
1,000%. That
Gotcha,
is a
gotcha,
thing
gotcha.
You
that
can like
exists.
sell stuff through it as well. I just bought a Christmas present actually last week.
on TikTok.
Yeah. That's good. There's good good products on there.
But
Yeah.
you
Well,
They're
bought it.
interesting.
Your
You
credit,
bought
you
it
bet-
on.
Yeah,
You,
with-
it didn't
yeah, it's the
link you
TikTok
somewhere
shop.
else.
Yeah.
nice
TikTok
with
shop.
a credit card.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Better check.
Attaboy.
Better check.
It already delivered. I already
They
have it.
got
so-
you.
It's not about
Yeah.
whether or not you got the product.
Yeah.
It's about how many other people got products
With your money.
because of your purchase.
Right.
A lot of
Right,
people
right.
are doing well
I didn't know
because
about that
Griffin
with TikTok.
shopped on
So
TikTok.
I learned something today.
Griffin, tell everybody what's going on at Live Casino and Hotel.
You're getting
Gambling.
$7 in free slot play at Live Casino every time the Baltimore's football team or Washington's football team scores touchdowns this season. Live Rewards members are getting $7 in free slot play. Have to have your Live Rewards card inserted correctly into the slot machine, any slot machine on the floor, and be actively playing in order to get your prize. But once those touchdowns score every time a touchdown is scored during home games for Baltimore, Washington this season, $7 in free slot play. At Rono Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, look, you want to talk about the Orioles, this is where I'm going to be. The winter meetings are going to essentially come to a close today, and more than likely they will come to a close with the Orioles having done what they did before they got to the meetings and not anything else. I'm not going to be surprised. I can still be disappointed. It's funny because there's a lot of this, like, how
Who have we not acquired that really gets under your skin?
Max Fried,
Okay,
100%.
that's the only one.
Yep.
Right?
Say to get under your skin. It's an interesting.
we could
way
have
of
used
looking
him
at
for
it,
sure.
right? Like,
I
does
mean-
it get under my skin? No, it doesn't get under my skin. It's that when I looked at the offseason and said, what could the Orioles do? That would make the most
He's
sense.
a reasonable. Blake Snell or Fried would be a reasonable guy.
And particularly Fried, the value of
Younger.
adding a lefty, and obviously the Cade Povich thing, where like you say, boy, if you want the guy to be Max Fried, it seems like it would benefit him to spend some time with Max Fried, right? Max Fried was the guy that I was kind of whipped up into a lather about.
Does it bother you that his last name is actually pronounced Fried and he
What?
doesn't want to go with that?
Right, but he gets to choose how his name is pronounced. It's a thing that we do in this country.
It
You
bothers
get to-
me.
Of course
Dude, your last name's Fried.
Of course it does.
It just is.
Well, it's not, is the thing. His last name is Fried. It's spelled
if
fried.
it was freed, it would be F-R-E-E-D.
I understand what you're saying.
But it isn't.
But it's not. He gets to choose
fried.
how his last name is pronounced.
So when you get an egg at the store
Right.
or at the bagel place,
well,
you
I
get
normally
it freed?
ask for a freed egg.
You get it freed or fried?
I normally ask for my
Thanks.
freed egg. Exactly.
There you go.
100%.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So that's the one, right? Like, and look, at the end of the day, as I wrote this morning, those dudes are always going where they're going to go. You're going to the Dodgers or you're going to the
Right.
Yankees.
This is look.
You're not coming to the Orioles.
Inherently,
we are still the Orioles.
There are two separate problems.
But
about
we
this.
are still the Orioles.
Yes, but
People don't
there's
want to
two-
admit that.
There's two separate issues here that need to be dealt with. The first is how it continues to be bad for baseball. It is. There's no way of getting around it. I think because it's just
You're saying it's bad for baseball that these 4 teams suck up all the best players?
correct, and that frankly this time. There's
I would
no,
definitely not disagree with
there's
that.
no real reason for anyone in Baltimore to be at
Although the
winter
Dodgers
meeting.
don't have a whole lot of good players.
Yeah, boy, they only have all of them. There's no real reason for anyone in Baltimore to be at the winter meetings or to pay attention to the winter meetings or to be engaged or watching the MLB Network.
So what would be your
the way
solution?
That unfortunately, the solutions are the things that are never coming. So it's almost not worth talking about.
What would be your solution?
The
Salary
solutions
cap,
are
right?
exactly right. It's salary cap and salary floor, obviously.
Does the NBA have it right?
Does the NBA have it right? It's so hard
Because they have so many little
Yeah.
pieces to their cap puzzle. You keep a guy, you sign a guy,
Right.
you
But the idea, do they have a system that allows for every fan base to be engaged year round? Is the question.
the NFL has
And
it right.
The NFL is obviously the shining example of that. The NFL
Just
is
here's the money. You can't go over it.
Every March, every fan base, the entire country is engaged with the NFL every March, because even the Jaguars are going to sign football players. Somebody is coming to your football team. Now, some of that is because you got to have 53 guys on the roster, right? Like it is different. You have to improve somewhere. Whereas maybe not every baseball team has to improve. It's a deeper conversation.
Bet you the White Sox are better next year.
Why do you think that? Just because
They have to be.
Yeah, right. It's
It's
impossible.
like the opera.
Although I don't know.
If they get rid of Crockett, they're in trouble.
Oh, Crockett. Yeah. Then what? They might only win.
Then
30
they might win
games.
38
And they
games.
might only win 30 at that point. It is a problem, and it's a problem they're not going to fix. But when every report starts with, well, the agents aren't going to talk to the other teams. The conversation has to start with the teams that have the money. That's not inherently, that sentence is bad
Where's
for baseball.
Burns going?
Boston, probably.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
Boston.
wow.
They've lost on everybody. They got to show
Oh.
that they're doing something.
Okay.
Burns, that would make sense.
Okay.
It would make sense for them to, unless they just don't care.
I think he's going to Atlanta.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I think they're the ones that are going to zip in there at the end and say that this guy helps us.
It's
I would have said the
possible.
Giants, but they just spent money on Adams.
All Adams.
Yeah.
All Adams. That's who they went on. God. That one's not spelled Adams. You can't do the bit that time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There's an E there.
Yeah, you can't. Nice job.
Adamus?
Nice try. Yes, Adamus. That's exactly who they spent their money on.
Willie.
No, I'd say it to say that so that's the first problem. The first problem is that baseball's got to. They don't care. Clearly, they've decided they just want to be a large market. You know, that the presence of the baseball teams in the individual markets is good enough for the rest of the year. So
How about the A's giving Severino that
yeah,
money?
I mean it's hilarious. It's objectively hilarious, but man, I don't know what you want me to do.
Severino, when they called him, he's like,
What?
Are you
Right?
you sure you have the right guy?
To who?
And yeah, right. I got putting some white walls on. Who are you calling
You could
for?
At least say you were with the Yankees.
Who are you
100%.
calling for?
I don't know
And
what's
the A's are
going
like,
on
we want you to come pitch for us. And he said,
here. Yeah, you don't
Okay.
You don't even have a city. You don't even.
Where
have
am I pitching?
Where do I report?
Right.
Where should I get an apartment? I'm so confused by any of this.
His agent said, don't worry about it. Just they're sending you the money.
Right. Yeah, but
like, okay.
I gotta live somewhere.
Right.
Where do
No, you
I?
don't.
Where
You're
do I
good.
live?
You're good. We're going to do it on the road like the Rays are going to do.
Ay. Well, no, the Rays are going to play at the spring training. They're gonna stay there all year long. So that's the first part. The second part is the Orioles thing, which is that the consternation, and I've talked about it for the last week, is unique. It's that the last couple of years you've wanted to see the Orioles make moves because you wanted the team to get better because you believe they had a chance to win a World Series. This year, it's worse than that. This year, it's that still exists, that you feel like they had to get better. Like right now, they had to get better just to be negligible, just to be on parallel with where they were a year ago, which wasn't good enough. They had to make multiple additions because they're slated to lose Santander and Corbin Burns. At the moment, they're a significantly worse team than the team that wasn't good enough. That's the reality. Like, they are.
I wouldn't. Okay, we'll fight over the significant. But
in what way? I'm saying on
well,
paper.
you're presupposing that
this is what you're going to do the bit where they can be better for other reasons. But on paper, if you just stockpile what they had versus what they have, they are significantly worse. They are worse at the top of their rotation by a long shot. They are worse.
Oh, you're saying if Burns is gone. Okay.
Right now, today,
Gotcha.
they are a worse,
Gotcha.
significantly worse baseball team on paper.
But you're saying that presupposing that Burns is gone.
Well, you think he's gone? You think he's in Atlanta?
But he isn't gone
Today,
yet.
he is gone. Today, he's not on the roster. The baseball team that they have today does not include Corbin Burns or Anthony Santander.
Right. Now, the Santander one, I think we all know we can make a we can try to counter that with Tyler O'Neill.
No, you can't.
Sure,
Tyler O'Neill can only hit one side. He stinks against righties.
But I don't think we care about
that. He's dreadful. No. That's important.
I don't think we care about
that. That's
a
huge
we just care about
problem.
the numbers.
Then you're an idiot.
No,
with all respect,
I don't agree with that.
If you think it doesn't matter that he only hits lefties, that you're drunk.
I don't know about that.
The numbers against righties are so bad that there's no justifying him being in the lineup.
What are his numbers against righties?
Awful.
Well, let Garrett pull them up.
Oh, Garrett. You get right on that, Garrett. Jesus.
Pull them up.
Have you really not looked at this?
No, pull them up.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Have you not looked at it?
No, I'm asking
That's
you to pull them
a
up.
problem. God. They're an abomination.
I'm asking you to pull them up.
Year ago, Tyler O'Neill against lefties. 313 average, 1180 OPS. Okay. Against righties, 209 with a 693 OPS. You can't be in the lineup.
Well, that's why they're going to have another outfielder.
Right. They're going to probably split between he and Heston Kjerstad, if I had to guess.
I would assume he's
Which
the guy.
means, what?
I would assume that's who it's going to be, right?
Right. Which means.
Problem is he's got to play defense.
Which one?
Kjerstad.
Well, I don't know that Tyler O'Neill's any better in that department.
He has
either.
to be.
You say that. Baseball Savant sure as hell doesn't think so.
I'm better than him.
You say that.
Defensively.
You say that.
I am.
Well, they put him in left field. That was a mistake.
Okay, but I'm better
There
than
was
him.
never any reason for Heston Kjerstad to be running around in left field. Are you all right? Are you playing Pac-Man or something?
No, I'm looking for baby pictures of Ethan. They're due today.
It's very, very good. Very good. I appreciate you doing that here.
Well, I have to. They're due today, and I forgot.
Couldn't
So
do that.
I'm getting bad
we're
emails.
We're going to take a commercial break. You understand that? Like, we could do that then.
Man, he's grown a lot.
I bet. That's normally how it works. Like, from your baby pictures to when you're, 42?
Look at his golf swing when he was 6.
It looks great, actually.
It does look pretty good. His left arm's
good.
bent a little bit too much.
Right?
But other than that, he's
shameful. I don't think he's going to make it.
You don't like the Tyler O'Neill signing?
It's fine in context. It's fine if you accept it for what it is. If the answer is the one thing that was missing in this lineup was someone who could specifically hit lefties, then, yeah, you found someone that can specifically hit lefties.
Well, that is why they did what they did.
If you try to sell this as, here's how we can move on from Anthony Santander, you got a guy who's not as good as Anthony Santander. That's the problem with the conversation.
And you're assuming, by the way, that Santander is able to replicate what he did last year.
I don't know that this is...
And by the way, you're also assuming Tyler O'Neill can play 150 games.
A huge assumption there. That's a huge part of the conversation.
And I should, on the record, I'm not overly thrilled with the Tyler O'Neill signing either, by the way.
Tyler O'Neill is...
I'm really not. I'm not.
If Tyler O'Neill was the fourth or fifth piece of what you did in the offseason, no problem. If Tyler O'Neill is what you end up... The second significant piece that you do for the offseason, it's not good enough. It's not. Tyler O'Neill's okay if it's the start.
Right. Here's the one thing I would say that I am happy they did. I am happy they did that now before they got out-leveraged. Because usually what they would do is they would make some sort of paltry, half-embarrassing offer to Santander, at the meeting. His agent would say, "You're kidding, right?" Then 5 days later, he'd sign with the Yankees, which is where he's going to go. And then 7 weeks later, we would sign Paul LaDuca. That's just not him specifically. We'd sign some bum. Now at least we got out in front of it, and we're not going to get out-leveraged by someone.
Maybe.
Well, we did.
Yeah, to some
There's
extent.
no one else available, unless it's like Randall Grichuk. No one else is available. Like this, it was a very limited outfield market.
Sure.
Very.
Sure.
So we got out ahead of it, which is a little bit not the way the Orioles of old have worked. We would always wait until the very end, until February, and sign some bum. Tyler O'Neill's not a bum. What he is he is a health risk.
But it's more than just a health risk.
No, it isn't.
He's a health risk who's legitimately more of a platoon bat than he is an actual middle-of-the-order bat. Like, if we talk about...
You have to be willing to at least say, if he plays 140 games, he could put up very similar numbers to Santander.
No.
Well,
he can't.
He did last year.
He can't.
In 110 games.
He did that, but being a zero...
You're going to keep arguing about the other side of the plate.
Correct.
If he plays in those 140 games and puts up the same numbers, I'm saying to you, if he plays in if he becomes a full-time player and puts up the numbers, you're saying he hasn't done that in the past. I'm saying, what if he does?
We could do that with anybody.
Right, but you're saying he never has. Neither had Santander until last year.
You're specifically talking about home runs.
I'm talking about in general. Santander never had done before what he did last year.
Right, specifically with home runs. Correct.
Or in general. He had an unbelievable season. He had a great year.
I got it.
He was never... But this time last year, no one was thinking that Anthony Santander is going to command a $120 million contract for 4 or 5 years. No one was thinking that.
Not. I don't.
No one was thinking
That's
that.
not. In fact, that's not even remotely true.
It is true.
No, it's not.
No one was thinking he was going to hit 45 home runs or 40 home runs.
You keep coming back to the home runs specifically.
But everything he did last year was good.
I don't disagree with that.
Everything he did was good.
I don't.
He had a great contract year. He's the model for, dude, you better man up this year. And
right,
he parlayed that into...
But he OPS 17 points higher than he'd OPS the year before. You're pretending like he had some sort of crazy contract year that was wildly different. He was a little bit better on the whole than he was the year before that.
I think he was a lot better.
The OPS says you're wrong. Like the number that we now use as defining number in baseball says he was slightly better, which again is still better.
Right. Oh, by the way, he was way better defensively too. He's made himself into a very competent defensive player.
I wonder if that's
not great.
I don't know.
He's not a Gold Glover, but he's made himself into a more competent defensive player. He has a great arm.
By the way, the home run, I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that he hit more home runs than he had ever hit before. I agree with that.
He had a terrific season.
He did, but
until
the idea that he was wildly better.
Until the playoffs.
Well, yeah, nobody had a good.
But all I'm suggesting with O'Neill, again, I'm not a huge, I'm not a.
You know what? The numbers say he was worse defensively than he was.
I don't buy that.
The numbers, in fact, say he was notably worse defensively than he had been before.
Yeah, I don't buy that. The numbers,
not that he was ever
stick those numbers.
Not that he was ever particularly good defensively.
I disagree.
Apparently,
with that.
2 years ago, they think he was at his worst. Weirdly,
anyway,
weirdly, they think that the numbers say the numbers would tell you
these are nerds you're talking about.
They're not nerds.
Yeah, they
keep
are.
Coming back to this because you just don't like.
They're nerds.
This is the thing where if the numbers don't justify what I want them to,
they're nerds.
I try to make them so they're not real.
They are nerds.
They're not.
Yeah,
they're
they are.
Not nerds.
They are.
They
sit in their basement.
These are the numbers.
And they go, "We took the wrong route. We got to take points off."
Yes, this
they're
is
nerds.
exactly what it is. We'll go with Drew. Trust me, bro, is a better metric than the ones used by all of baseball.
Correct.
Nailed it.
Because they're nerds.
That's our guy. That's our guy.
You know they are.
The source, trust me, bro.
No, I don't. You say bro, but they're nerds.
He doesn't say bro.
Yeah, source.
Ethan does it. Drives me crazy.
Source. I think so.
You know they're nerds.
You keep wanting that to be the case because you don't like what the numbers say.
I'm not a huge Tyler O'Neill fan, but I think they got ahead of this.
I think if Tyler O'Neill can somehow be dramatically better against righties, then I'm fine.
But what's that mean?
He's got to be competent. He's got to be
what's that
something
mean? Give me the number.
We'll
bet a Chinese lunch.
I have no interest in that. No interest.
Anthony said so his outs above average were really bad in 21 and 22. They were negative
right.
9
Then it
combined.
was really good. We've moved
nerds.
past that. We're back
Nerd talk.
We're
now
back.
you're talking about nerds.
We're back. Yes, the nerds. That's what it is.
How many home runs did he hit?
That's there you go.
How many home runs did he hit?
That's what you need.
How many home runs did he hit? It's like you guys do with pitching.
If Tyler O'Neill can OPS something like 720 against something that is justifiable to keep him in the lineup against righties, or if it's as simple as we accept that he's a platoon bat and Heston Kjerstad and he are going to be a platoon in right field, and Heston
that's
Kjerstad,
very dangerous defensively with Kjerstad. He is terrible, and I'm not a nerd, and I can tell you
Heston Kjerstad didn't really get to play much right field this season.
No, he played in left field, and when he played there,
I understand
it was a
There's
thrill a
no
minute.
world in which Heston Kjerstad should ever be back in left field.
It was a thrill a minute.
That should never happen.
I'm telling you, isn't it amazing how things in life have changed, but some haven't? And when I was 8 and I was in Little League, Ross Daniels was terrible. And you know what we did with him? We stuck him in right field, and we hoped no one ever hit the ball to right field.
Mm-hmm.
And Ross stood out there and picked his nose the whole summer.
Right.
And we do the same thing now. We just do the same thing now, but we just do it with Major League Baseball players. You stick them in right field.
It's sort of like that, yes.
You stick Ross Daniels in right field, and he picks his nose.
Is that why Aaron Judge is going to play right field? Is that what it is?
And Juan Soto.
Is that what's going on there?
What do you think about that contract?
I mean,
it's insane.
You say that.
It's insane.
You say that it's insane. I don't really know what's insane. It ain't my money.
$765 million for that dude is nuts.
I get it, except for we've never seen a player this young go into free agency.
Ohtani wants a refund.
Well, Ohtani's not even getting that money.
That's what I mean. He wants
75 or something.
He wants a rebate.
Right, like we haven't seen this player become available, so I don't know what's nuts.
A guy that hits the ball.
Yes, a guy that hits the ball and isn't 30.
You can't
like players
field
just
at all.
Don't get to free agency at this age. It doesn't happen for lots
How old
of
is he?
reasons.
25?
26.
26.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like that just doesn't. The baseball is not set up for players to get to
free
free
agency. He will definitely win a World Series in 4 years when he's with the Dodgers.
When he ends up back. When Steve Cohen says, "I tried,
did the best I could do."
Not worth
we had
it.
another one of these. We had another one of these multi-level marketing things.
I will
fell
tell
apart.
you, the only part of it that's really interesting to me is the sweet gate. That part to me is absolutely.
What, he got a
interesting.
suite or something?
Yeah, the Mets were willing to give him
And the
a
Yankees
suite, and the Yankees weren't because the Yankees make Aaron Judge and Derek Jeter pay for their suites,
and that's
so they can't.
That's what did it.
But there's no chance that's what did it. Like, there's no way that the offers.
He does strike me as the kind of guy. I will say this.
Okay.
He does strike me as the kind of guy that when his agent said, "All right, look, here's the deal. The Yankees and the Mets have come in with these incredible offers. The Mets are willing to pay you $11,744 more." He said, "Get the Mets on the phone. I'm doing the deal." He does strike me as that guy.
And just every penny, right?
Every nickel.
How
funny is it? Jazz Chisholm called it in the American League Championship Series. He said, "Just give the guys $700 million." And everyone's like, "What's Jazz Chisholm drinking?"
Right.
Turns out he was right.
Turns out that's the number. That's the number that's going to get you on Soto. The issue for the Orioles inherently will be, you can say that
are we firing Harbaugh or not?
Stop it. Stop. Would you just? What happened to you?
I don't know.
Like, what happened to you?
I'm just so interested in so many
Could
things.
you just chill
Who's
for
winning
a
the
second?
NBA thing?
I know
the winter Christmas
who
thing.
Cares? Stop. I need you to stop. I'm going to finish this thought, then I'm going to bring up another thought.
Then we'll talk about the NBA.
No, we're not going to do that. Although, God bless the Thunder. Apparently they won, so I'm still alive in our pool.
Oh, there you go.
Look.
Westbrook must be having a good year for them.
The issue, yes, he's killing it.
Westy.
He's just doing Westy.
Westy and Durant must be.
Serge Ibaka.
Westy and Durant must be lighting it up.
There you go. Drew Forrester. We should NBA Corner with Drew Forrester every week. You back here next week? You in next Wednesday?
What is next Wednesday?
I
think
know.
so.
The 18th?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Wednesday before Christmas?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay. Why don't you prepare NBA Corner for us?
NBA Corner. I will.
Why don't you prepare?
Actually, you know what? I will.
No, you won't.
No, I will.
Lie.
That's done.
Don't lie.
Give me 3 minutes. It'll be like the weekend update on Saturday Night Live.
You don't remember the bet from last week.
No, give me 3 minutes next week.
Zero chance you're remembering
done.
to do NBA Corner.
If I don't, I'll leave here and go get Chinese food and bring it back. Right. I'm doing the NBA Corner next week. Colin Jost. You can be Michael Shea.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this.
NBA Corner.
NBA Corner.
You could
with
tape
Drew
it, and we're
not going to tape it.
Okay.
NBA Corner next Wednesday is part of the program.
Done.
I can't wait.
It's done.
I can't wait.
I'm
Look,
finally getting a little piece of this that I can call
yeah,
my own.
It's yours.
Well, you don't want to talk about
Drew,
golf.
No,
which
sure.
is the only thing
sure
I
as
know.
hell, that's correct.
And hockey.
It's
And you don't want to talk about either
really
of
the
those.
issue.
Now you left me. The only thing I can talk about that I know that you don't is Maryland basketball.
Right, that's a great point. You're the guy. I was there last Wednesday.
Oh
what
my
day was it? Last Wednesday?
I went last
Tuesday?
Wednesday to watch that fiasco.
Phew.
It was unbelievable.
I mean, I believe
I've
it.
never. I have seen some futility in my day of good teams. Never seen anything like Ohio State.
No doubt. All right.
Pause.
Pause. Final thought on the Orioles. The things that you're feeling, you have every right to feel.
You know they're getting Shulmanaya.
Maybe. That. By the way, I take him. Things that you're feeling, you have every right to feel. If you're doing the bit where you're like, hey, to this point, I don't understand what the difference is between the Angelos and David Rubenstein. You have every right to feel that way. Don't let some nerd shame. There you go. There's a nerd. Don't let some nerd shame you at the moment. Now, if you say, if you're pretending like the offseason is done and this is the baseball team that's going to be out there, then, you're an idiot, with all due respect. You have no idea what.
And if they're
still happen.
secretly sitting over there saying this, and I would give them the benefit of the doubt here. If Rubenstein and Elias are sitting there with their 4 nerd bean counters, and Rubenstein is saying, what do we think in 2 or 3 years it's going to cost us if we wanted to back up the Brinks truck for Gunner in next summer or next offseason? Is 3 years in.
Why you're waiting that long?
But next year's not that far away. You're not doing it now.
Why not?
Well, because they aren't.
The idea is
But
this is when it's more likely
But fair
to
enough.
get him.
If you said,
and you might be running out of time on that.
if you said, what would it take us right now? And Elias said, I think we could get him for $500 million, or whatever the number is, for $37 million for 6 years. Mm-hmm. If Rubenstein said you can have that $300 million or give it to Burns, I might be okay with them not.
Maybe, but you need to know that right now.
But maybe they are. I'm giving them the
problem.
benefit of the doubt.
Idea
what do you want them to call you?
No, I wouldn't mind. I would be okay with
Right.
that.
Hey, Glenn, let me let you know what we're
what's
doing.
going on here, 100%. And again, the reason why that math doesn't math is because the number's not going down.
Well, sure.
The notion that you're
going to have to pay.
It's getting
you're going to
more
have to pay
likely.
these 3 guys, and or not pay them.
Correct.
Gunner,
Yes.
Henderson, and Gunner,
Gunner
Rutschman, and Westberg.
Correct.
You're going to have to pay those 3 guys.
Presumably, if you want to keep them, yes.
Right.
Right. The point being, you need to do that.
I think we all know who the odd guy out there is.
Well, I think that you've already passed that time with Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
I think that time has already come and gone. At this point, you'd just be trying to lock him up to you could try to sign Adley Rutschman, but you'd have to pay him a number that makes him say, I have no interest in becoming a free agent, because he's getting his money in arbitration. Like, he's good now. There'd be people that would point out, do you want to do that right now, not knowing what happened to him in the second half of last season? And without it being any amount of a hometown discount, I can understand that. You're approaching that point with Gunnar Henderson, where it just might not make sense for them. When you want to do these things, you got to do it ASAP. Like, you got to do it where the pre-arb years matter, where you're not really going to be making money for the first couple of years, but we can change that. We can change how much money you're going to make early on if you're willing to do a longer-term deal with us. That's the value of these things. By not doing it immediately, the Orioles have put themselves behind the 8 ball, where every day that goes by, it's less likely that you can do that type of deal. Or if you want to, you're not doing it on anything that benefits the team. You're just trying to compete against what you think the free agent market might be. And looking at the free agent market right now, if you're Gunnar Henderson, we all keep wanting to believe that there's going to be a bubble that bursts at some point. But if Juan Soto's getting this amount of money and you're Gunnar Henderson, you're saying to yourself, you're going to have to swim in those waters if you want to talk to me, because I'm too close. I'm too close to try to be worrying about helping you. You've got to compete against what the free agent market's going to be. They've done this to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they could be. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they could be on the verge of having Juan Soto light with Henderson.
Maybe.
I mean, they could.
Right.
I don't think there's that dramatic of a difference with the. And you're talking about somebody who's been in the league 4 more years. I don't think there's that. The Orioles could be 2 years away from Gunnar Henderson being the first billion-dollar player.
And he's not interested in helping you. This but it doesn't work that way. If you want to do it, you try to do it with Jackson Holiday now. But Jackson Holiday seems like the least person that needs. Like he comes from money. Like I don't know that it bothers him all that much that he's not making. And he was a #1 overall pick, so he got a nice signing bonus. I don't know that it bothers him that he's not making an extraordinary amount of money. But this thing where you can't do it right now. You don't even know how good they're going to be. Well, either you do it right now or you're not doing it. That's not how this works. This works with you take a gamble when someone comes up that they're going to be as good as everybody says they're going to be and that you can get a deal done. This thing where we all want to see how it plays out or dream that you could be like the Braves who robbed their guys of money. I mean, that'll go down in history, what the Braves were able to accomplish. It doesn't work that way. You've got a small window when players aren't making an extraordinary amount of money to say, hey, trade off, give us a couple extra years, and we'll pay you money now. But once they get into arbitration, if they're that good, there's no reason.
Right.
There's no reason for them to why in the world would they be interested in working with you? Now you just got to give them a free agent deal. And you got to give them a projected free agent deal. Here's what we think that money will be in 2 years, and we're going to get out in front of it. And maybe the Orioles want to do that. Maybe that is what David Rubenstein's thought process is I'll pay $700 million for Gunnar Henderson. Maybe that's it. If it is, we can talk about that at that point.
Please don't embarrass him and only offer him $500 million.
Right. I mean, shameful. Really shameful.
Yeah,
right?
Because if you do that, you've slapped him in the face.
How does he get by on that?
Yeah.
How does a guy live?
Right. He'll be eating Chinese food with you and I.
100%. All right. We come back in. I don't even remember.
NBA Corner?
No. No, I said next week we'll do NBA Corner.
I got some already. I'm already thinking it through.
I do have Would You Rather Wednesday prepared for this week. The scenarios are up.
Fun facts. Did you know?
Oh, yeah. On this date?
I got the whole thing.
On this date, you got all sorts of. Do you?
You'll see.
You got music prepared? You got a music bed that you want underneath it? You can bring in actuality sound clips? I want a whole thing.
Yeah, I'll get some Sam Fender or something like that going.
You're a big Sam Fender guy?
I like Sam Fender.
I like Sam Fender.
Sam Fender's awesome.
I like Sam.
The new album sounds great.
You know who I don't like is Mick G. All the kids seem to be into this Mick G fella.
Who won The Voice?
No,
Who
is
won
it
The
McGee?
Voice?
Is that what
the
it's,
MK?
That guy sucks.
Who won The Voice?
He was on SNL.
Did the girl, 16-year-old girl,
was
win?
Terrible. I don't watch The Voice. I mean, why do you think that I watch The Voice?
I don't know. The 16-year-old, look that up.
Sneaking over and watching The
if
Voice.
You said it, probably.
The 16-year-old girl
sure.
that's Team Gwen.
Sure. If you, all the old guys are into The Voice.
Did the 16-year-old girl win or not?
Oh, God, no. Apparently the 16-year-old girl did not win The Voice. Breaking news. The Filipino dude won The Voice.
That figures.
What the hell does that mean?
That's what we do these days. Got to spread it around. No, I could have called that one.
I had a point that I wanted to make about
coulda
the
called
Orioles,
that one.
and I never made it. I never got around to it.
I'm sure he's a Democrat. We got to call it. Got to ease. We got to make sure we pacify everybody.
The 16-year-old golden hour. It was
this could be it today.
I'm pretty sure they root for the women.
I'm pretty
sure they would have preferred a woman.
You always said to me, I got a bad feeling you'll bring me down. And I always said to you, no, I won't.
Yeah. What are we doing? All right, taking a break. I got to take a break.
I got an off-the-air story to tell you.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, I can't.
Amazing.
Is it?
Involving one of our former employees, co-employees.
Okay. And we come back in.
Co-workers.
Whatever Drew
No, I'm not going to tell it on the air.
Right, thank you. He'll tell me that off the air, and then I'll and then I'll hint around it.
Right.
It's what I'll
That's
do.
what we do for radio.
I'll be like, oh, wow, something along those lines.
Right.
I don't know what's next. My brain is exploded with this guy. It's Drew's here. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Top high school basketball talent from across the country returns to the Wycomico Civic Center December 26th through 30th for the Governor's Challenge presented by Pohanka of Salisbury. Witness 5 full days of elite competition featuring over 140 high school basketball teams from 16 states plus Canada. Multiple top 10 teams and nationally ranked players will display their talents on the court. Don't miss the best experience in high school hoops. For tickets and info, visit govchallenge.org.
Hey Baltimore, it's number 10, Arthur Millette, and I'm hoping you'll slot us in all season long for the Arthur Millette Show. We will be traveling around the region all season, giving you the chance to get to know me and my teammates. There will be some football talk and a lot more. You can watch this show live on Pressbox's Facebook and YouTube pages and listen every Friday night on 105.7 The Fan. Find out more at pressboxonline.com/Millette. The Arthur Millette Show, the only show in town that's a work of art.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin, and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Visit Harford County this holiday season for a brand new event. You'll feel like you stepped into a holiday movie. Harford Holidays is overflowing with the spirit of the holiday season. You'll be amazed by the jaw-dropping light displays, thrilled by a visit to Santa's workshop, and have the holiday time of your life with sleigh rides, a special vendor village, s'mores making stations, and so much more. It's a holiday light experience, new at Ripken Stadium, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, December 6th through December 22nd. For ticket information, head to visitharford.com. You'll have the happiest holiday season ever.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. Mike Bordick's going to hop on in a couple of minutes. We'll chat with him about what the Orioles have and have not done.
Well, they haven't done anything.
Point. Well, they signed Tyler O'Neill and Gary Sanchez.
Well, Tyler O'Neill.
They also signed Gary Sanchez.
Okay, but they did. That's kind of a lark, right?
They signed Gary Sanchez. Not sure if you're aware. That happened.
I'm aware.
Drew is here. Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone. Shifting into winter sports season. Basketball already underway at the private school level.
Big game tonight.
What's tonight?
Coward Hall hosting Concordia.
Ooh, okay. There you go.
Yep.
You can find out everything you need to know about hoop season. A lot of attention being paid on St. Francis. They got a kid, Josiah Kennedy, who is highly recruited. A lot of attention being paid over at who's the kid, the Mount St. Joe kid that's going to Towson? Holmes, right?
Okay.
And they got Bina Ranson's son BJ's over there.
The kid at John Carroll's really good. Number 4, I forget his name.
I don't know
I just
either.
saw them last week.
know either. But you can find out everything you need to know, countysports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Boy, I got to tell you.
By the way, CNN is reporting that someone named Luigi Mangione.
What?
Apparently a member of the Baltimore Mangione family is involved in that killing.
No.
That's what CNN's saying.
No, that's crazy. You know, there's Drew again. We went to commercial break. He wasn't on his phone.
Fingerprint.
The moment we came back from break, he went to CNN.
Fingerprint match, they're saying.
No.
That's the new news.
No, I'm starting to think that
his attorney said
they might not have gotten the wrong guy. I'm starting to think it's possible.
It looks like they got the right guy.
But I got to thank you for everything that you've done to this point, and for the helping up drive. It's been, I would say, it's yours.
Every time I look, all you're talking about is we're done. We got it.
We're not done. No.
All right, what do we need?
Not remotely done. We got to fill the bowl pick'em.
How many?
We need about 10 more people to get into the bowl pick'em.
Okay.
We need a push for that. That'll get us. We feel.
So if we need 10 more bowls, we'll just look in his backpack.
All right, there we go. That's our guy. There he is.
Just look in Garrett's backpack.
NBA Corner next Wednesday.
I got it all.
NBA Corner. Just you wait.
I got it all.
I need you to get in. Thank you to Anthony Vetrano got in yesterday. Thanks to John Little Rock got in.
No.
Susan and Mark got in. What is your beef with him?
John Little Rock?
Yeah.
Just a nerd.
Anyway, I need you, and I need Drew to do something.
I like John.
I need you. We need
John's a good man when he sleeps.
I've had too many people ask for us to do some sort of event. I'm not going to have a celebrity guest.
We can't do it.
What does that mean we can't do it? We can still get together.
You guys are the celebrities.
We used to do that.
Well, that's kind of true. I mean, Glenn and I are both.
We used to do events where it was just us hanging out.
We add up to the equipment guy at the Ravens. If you took him and his value,
right,
and
you and I,
us,
you plus I equals about that.
Right.
I don't
Let's
have.
Go to Chick-fil-A and have some food.
That's what I'm saying. But we got to commit to it. Can we ask who do we know that could come over and hang out with us?
Oh, who do we know?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's not going to be a celebrity, obviously. It's not going to be. But who do we know that we would invite over to come over and hang out?
You know, I'd like to see Dennis Shockett.
Dennis Shockett was probably going to come in and do a Christmas show with us at some point.
That would be awesome. I'm going to see him this Saturday at McAvoy's.
That sounds like
until he plays a Beatles song, then I'm leaving.
Well, he's probably going to do that. He plays a lot of those. Here's the deal. Bull Pick'em. Stop telling me I don't know about. I swear to God, if one more person, I don't really know about college football. Shut up.
No one does.
And even if someone did, it is the worst time. No one knows.
I'm personally boycotting it because the Maryland didn't get a bowl game.
It's a great point.
Bowl invite.
Shameful on there.
And Alabama.
Right? They got a bowl invite. They're going to a bowl.
Well, but not one of the real ones.
Right. That part is true. Maryland played Auburn last year. Everybody assumed it's Auburn. Maryland can't compete with Auburn. That's not the way it works. And Maryland slaughtered them.
Punch them in the face.
Slaughtered them with the same quarterback that you all hate now. Like, stop. You have no idea. No one does. That's the beauty of doing a bowl pick'em.
Just pick the home team.
Are you going to get in?
Yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, I'm in.
That's so much.
I'm
$20. Glenn Dash
so
Clark on Venmo.
$20.
Half of it goes to the winner. Half of it goes to the drive to buy toiletries and underwear for the folks at Helping Up Mission. So help us. Helping up. $20. Glenn Dash Clark on Venmo. Glenn Clark 180 on PayPal. Glenn Clark Radio on Cash App. However you want to get in. Just let me know that you got in. I'll send you the link, and you can sign up and get your picks in because the games start on Saturday. That's why I'm stressed about it.
Here's what we'll do. We'll add something.
Oh?
If the Ravens win the AFC North, everybody puts in another 40.
Sure, I'm in favor of that, but I'm not going to require that to get in.
Oh, yeah, you require it.
No, I need to get this thing filled before we do this other cockamamie nonsense. Fill the pool. Fill it. Stop making me do this every day. Get in today.
I agree with that.
What, the show? You want me to stop doing the show every day?
Finally agreed on
that makes
something.
two of us.
Finally agreed on
I
something.
keep saying, anybody think I have any other skills that I
How's Loyola basketball? Are they any good?
No.
They're not? How about UMBC
First year
thumping
head coach.
Towson?
Yeah, that was. I just assumed.
Was that a surprise?
Well, I didn't watch the game, so I assumed that meant Todd and May were still out. Finding out that they both played and
UMBC just
UMBC
wouldn't
still
miss a
thumped
three
them.
in the first half. That was the that didn't help.
Towson was favored.
Yeah. But yeah, they should be better. But I don't know. Hopefully by conference season they're better. We'll see. But that's not germane to the topic. The topic is the bowl pick'em.
Okay.
Fill it.
Jeez.
No.
People are getting aggravated now because you keep drilling into the.
So
we
don't
know.
make me. No, you don't. Because if you knew, you would have filled it by now.
If you know, you know.
If you knew, I would still have to keep
Biggie
doing this.
song.
If you don't know, now you know.
No.
That's
never
what
mind.
Biggie would say.
There's another word in there somewhere.
Maybe. But if you don't know, now you know is sort of the way that it goes.
Right. What was that from? Juicy?
Also, seriously, work on. Let's get together. Let's do something.
Okay, take it easy.
You're not trying. Call it like it is.
I am trying. I got a lot going on.
Yeah, you think that the rest of us don't have anything going on?
You don't have as much as I have going on.
Bet.
I have 6 jobs.
Hello.
That's true. You have 8.
Hello. My God.
Okay. You're right.
Pick it up. Do some lifting on this. I keep saying Drew and I when it's kind of a dirty little
Drew,
secret.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's exactly right. Really just one of us.
So Wes, take it easy. You're so angry around the holidays.
I am.
You're angry with the Orioles.
Well,
See, if the Orioles would sign people, you'd be much more comfortable.
I would. You're right about that. Joining us now.
We do have Gary Sanchez.
They did get
for
Gary
the 31
Sanchez.
games he'll be around.
Let's talk more
Until
about
they kick him to the curb.
What the Orioles have and have not done. He is, of course, our friend from the Baseball Warehouse, the League of Dreams, 105.7 The Fan. Orioles Hall of Famer, Mr. Mike Bordick, back with us here on GCR. What's going on, Bordy? It's Glenn and Drew. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're all right, man. Hey, did I see
aggravated? We're aggravated.
Wait. Hang on a second. Did I see you got like a special celebrity guest coming in town this weekend?
Adam Jones is coming in to do a hitting clinic over at the Baseball Warehouse. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun, man. I'm gonna be out there and work with some kids. I think it's already sold out too.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. That's outstanding. Yeah. We like that guy a lot. Very cool. All right, Mike. On a scale of 10 to 1,000, how panicked should we be about the fact that the Orioles haven't gotten a pitcher yet?
Yeah, I'm panicking, man. I'm up there pretty high, and I thought they would be more aggressive for Fried, and it kind of goes to show what the Orioles are up against. You got to be able to open up your wallet if you're going to get a top-notch free agent. And I don't know if the new ownership group understood what they were getting into. I don't even think us as fans realized that the owners were going to flip out for these players. I think Soto's contract is ridiculous. I think Shohei Ohtani should be the bar for the greatest player the game's ever seen, and nobody should go over that. But, hey, it is what it is, man, and these teams are throwing out a lot of money. I just hope the Orioles could get – it'd be nice if they'd be competitive for Corbin Burns or any number of free agent arms.
I guess the interesting thing, too, Mike, you look back at what Mike Elias tried to do at the deadline. If in some – this is all just pie in the sky, but if Trevor Rogers would have been decent in August and September, I don't know that we'd have been that hard-pressed for this. That hole, and Povich was at times, Povich was decent, but that hole, the Trevor Rogers thing, I think that really created a lot of this angst because we thought we had our guy, and maybe we still do. Maybe he'll come back and be good, but man, that hole has really left us all kind of whining about not having any pitching.
No, absolutely. But I'll say this. I mean, I think every organization now has got to look to stockpile arms. I mean, they really do to overcome the ups and downs of a long season. The Dodgers, I'm not going to say follow those guys because they stockpiled on pitching and had to spend an ungodly amount of money to do that, and more than half their rotation was hurt last year, but they still found a way to win a World Series. So you got to we think we have some pretty good arms that are going to potentially develop to be pretty good pitchers, but we're just talking about 1 or 2 arms. The risk of injury is extremely high, so you better have some backups there. Just pitching at the major league level and trying to get somebody that can throw innings is really hard. So, man, you got to come up with a good kind of plan. And one thing that I think, Mike Elias, the Orioles organization, has really got to focus on is developing pitchers because, we've seen a lot of great young players come up to the Orioles, but none have been a developed pitcher by Mike Elias and his development crew. So we got to start developing pitchers and, some way save up enough money to be able to land a top-notch free agent.
That in mind, Mike, I feel like that's sort of the question that a lot of people are. Did it need to be a traditional number one? Did it need to be Burns, Fried, who's obviously off the table, Snell, who's off the table, a Garrett Crochet trade, or could it be strength in numbers? Could it be more like if they somehow still were to come away with Sasaki and add one more pitcher that's still out there, Manaea, something like that, that you don't have to have the traditional ace. You just have to have bulk pitching to try to get through this.
Well, bulk pitching, including great development. Now, listen, I've said this time and time again. If the Rays aren't a blueprint for every organization that wants to try to save money, I don't know what organizations are looking at. I mean, because they've had proven sustainable success with no money, and they continually develop pitchers, they trade players, they restock, they do it the right way, and that's going to have to be the way of the Orioles. If they're not willing to flip out $300 to $1 billion to land free agent players, then you better draft and develop, and you better do it well, and it better be pretty consistent and steady, because the arms aren't lasting. I think it was last year somebody came out and said, well, it used to be, okay, you get Tommy John, that Tommy John surgery will last for 10 years, maybe the life of that player's contract. Well, now these Tommy Johns are lasting 4 years. Are you kidding me? You got to pay for a premium pitcher, and he's going to go on to get Tommy John twice before the contract's done? That's what they're up against. So, yeah, I think finding a great philosophy, at least a foundational philosophy to develop pitching, and keep them coming, baby, because we need arms. And I'm not saying every arm's got to throw 98 either. Develop pitchers, guys that know how to command 4 pitches and can keep hitters off balance. It's got to come back to that anyway.
No, I get
because
it.
we're just losing bodies.
So we're chatting with Mike Bordick here on GCR about what the Orioles have and have not done. And so let's get to the have, right? They did bring in Tyler O'Neill. We assume that means Anthony Santander is gone. Tyler O'Neill is somewhere between a legitimate middle-of-the-order bat and a glorified platoon guy. His numbers against righties a year ago were atrocious. But some people make the argument you still have to have him in the lineup against righties because he's still a threat to put the ball out of the ballpark. If we assume this is basically what it's going to be, if we assume that Tyler O'Neill is probably the biggest thing that they're going to do offensively, is the lineup they have, if you assume either a reasonable, regression to the mean for Adley Rutschman, aggression to the mean, like that he's not going to be the guy that he was in the second half, and reasonable jumps made by Jackson Holliday, Colton Cowser, some of these other young players, is the lineup as constituted good enough to compete to win a World Series?
No. No, not at all. I mean, my gosh, I don't know, man. I'm not on that contract. I would have rather tried to lock Santander back up. He's proven.
Sure.
He's a switch hitter, so he's got power from both sides. One of the best power hitters in the game last year. You getting a guy that's a platoon player what did he play, 110 games last year or something like that?
Yeah.
He can't hit right-handed pitching? I don't know. He's got an opt-out after 1 year? I mean, what? I don't know. I don't know about this deal. And are they bringing the fences back in for him? I don't get it. I'm not on a lot of this stuff right now. He's a one-dimensional player, right? I mean, I don't think he's a defender. I think Anthony Santander's he's getting better and better out there. I don't know. I think Anthony Santander is an average defender, but he's always in the game, makes plays. A very strong arm, though, and accurate. I don't think you're getting the same player, that's for sure. They're going to have to get another bat. And relying on young players, I know the Orioles have had to do that the last couple of years, and some guys have really stepped up, but that's like keeping your fingers crossed. I mean, we were all hoping that Jackson Holliday was going to make a huge impact last year and help us through the postseason, and it didn't happen, and so here we are. Is Colton Cowser? Yeah, we're saying is Colton Cowser going to have a more consistent offensive year? Because if he can find that would be a bonus. What about Erstad? Is he going to? We just don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of question marks. A lot of these young players aren't proven enough to even have a track record. We're still hoping, because they were high draft round picks, that they'll, come out and be good again next year. I feel like Gunnar is really the only kind of guarantee that you can say, well, I just feel like he's going to be a perennial MVP guy year in and year out. Well, how are you going to lock that guy up after Bobby Witt Jr. set the bar for a young player stud contract, and now Soto set the bar for, a free agent? Oh, my gosh. Good luck signing Gunnar. Man, oh, man. I kind of went off on a little tangent.
No, I get it. I get it.
More offensive help. They need more offensive help. They need more pitching help. They need – are we just all of a sudden saying, okay, Batista's going to be the same guy he was 2 years ago? I don't know that we can hang our hat on that. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. He's 6'8". How do you sync up all those parts? It took him all that time just to finally do it and have a monster year. And now Tommy John, there are question marks there too. So you better have somebody else in mind to step in if it doesn't work out quite the way we're all hoping it works out for Batista.
Yeah, it's interesting too when you talk about the offense. Obviously, we all know they flatlined in the 2 games against Kansas City, but before Westberg's injury, the offense was percolating pretty nicely. And then something happened in mid to late July.
It all went to hell.
They carried it all the way through to the end of the regular season. But I guess the one issue I keep going back to is, unless you're willing to create a hole, and I don't know where that would be, I don't know how you add any. And you brought up a good point about Santander. Like, well, is there any chance at all we are re-signing him? And that O'Neill effectively then starts maybe platooning with Cowser. Like, unless we create a hole, I don't know how we're getting much better. As that sounds kind of weird, but who are we adding in place of? Does that make sense?
I'm saying right there, because we have, all these young players. Unless you want to move a valuable young player, I mean, are we going to? I don't know. Did we all not see what it's going to take to win in the postseason and win a World Series?
You got to put runs on the board.
It takes studs.
Right.
It takes horses, not a hope that your young players are going to carry you to the promised land. It takes legitimate studs, period. Yeah, we got some really good young players, but you need horses around for 162-plus games. I mean, wow, you need so much depth to compete. And so I know we're hoping for, more offensive punch, maybe an offensive player. I think we had a great opportunity last year to do some things. And I don't want to live in the past. We obviously have to move forward. And I think the Orioles are going to try their best to put the best players, they have in those situations. Pitching is just so crucial, and the amount of pitching we need is never ending. So got to continue to hammer that out. And if there's a way to maybe, if somebody's asking about a young player, it could possibly be intriguing. That's the thing about the Orioles right now. If they're not going to dump in $1 billion on players, then they have to have foresight, and they have to have an understanding of what's down the road and how can I get value back for all these players I just collected over the last 4 or 5 years with losing 100 games. There's value in that. And I don't know if they've quite figured it out yet, but you have to be able to trade away young studs that we're all saying, oh, my gosh, this could be the future, to get back to have sustainable success and hopefully develop young pitching, getting arms back that hopefully will help you through the minor leagues. I mean, there's an art to it. There's no doubt about it. Well, I just don't know that the Orioles are going to be able to compete with the Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, and all the big market teams that are showing their strength, Cohen up there in the Mets, just unlimited money. They'll spend anything it takes to get the players they want. So the Orioles have got to find another way to develop and compete.
No, I think the point about developing pitching stands significantly. And when someone asks me, like, hey, do we trust the Orioles in drafting and developing, I would say, tell me about the pitching. Like, tell me what it is that makes me say. For a minute, we started to believe that there was some sort of special sauce with them, bringing in, I don't want to say reclamation projects, but guys like, Kyle Bradish, and it felt that way for a minute, but that kind of went away, right? The Cole Irvin bubble burst, the Albert Suarez thing is kind of what it is. Like, I don't know where I am with this team's ability as far as developing pitching is concerned.
Well, it's got to be part of the process. It has to be.
Yep.
I mean, also, they can't say, no, we're not going to, because they can't afford big league pitching. They just can't.
Yep.
I mean, it's incredible, the cost. I mean, Corbin Burns' number just went up exponentially because of the Fried contract.
Yep. Yeah, you're not getting Burns for less than what Fried got. No, 100%. Like, that ain't happening. But Mike, if I could, because hearing you're obviously you're very animated, you're very passionate about it. Is part of this what I think a lot of Orioles fans are feeling, which is this is supposed to be the moment. Like, you've got the core. We kept believing, and I get that it's weird with the timing of the ownership change, but we kept believing that, like, once the core was here, there would be the spending to match it and to meet the moment. And the Orioles couldn't always be like the Mets or the Yankees, but once the talent was there, once it was clear, you've got your moment, you should go spend. Is that some of what your frustration is, that, like, if you're not going to do it now, then are you ever going to do it?
Kind of, yes, absolutely. I mean, I just don't, unless, like, the whole philosophy changes, we're going to have to keep Gunnar and Adley and Cowser and some of the other young offensive players on one-year deals because we're not going to be able to flip out a 10-year, $300 million contract to any one of those guys. And that's what it's going to take to lock them up right now. I got a feeling that all the agents are just saying, well, look what's out there. So keep doing what you're doing. We'll keep getting our pay raise every year. And the Orioles aren't going to give you $300 million, so the Yankees or the Dodgers, they're the ones that are going to be able to do that. So if the Orioles understand that and start realizing the value of potentially trading a Cowser or Hurstead, I mean, that's how they have to kind of stay ahead of the game. If that's how they're going to have to work it, or this could drop into the dark ages again. I mean, it's hard for sustainable success, but I think what's frustrating is, we thought we had a really good window. I think last year's acquisition of Corbin Burns was incredible. It really got everybody fired up. And then that dang injury bug hit that the Orioles were so fortunate to have eluded the year before. They were the healthiest team in baseball and ended up winning a bunch of games and became the Cinderella story of Major League Baseball, and they're going to back it up. But the injury bug hit, and we lost all our stud pitching. I mean, my gosh, Bradish, Wells, and guys just dropping all over the place. So that obviously put a dent into the fans' plans, Mike Elias' plans, the Orioles' plans. But how do you respond to that? Are you saying it was a one-hit wonder? You got to find a way to keep it going. This is what we're in for. That's why we endured 4 years of terrible baseball, so that we could have sustainable success, right? So there should have been, or there has to be, or there better be a philosophy in place to keep this going and keep young guys cycling through, because I'm a little worried. We've already dropped out of being the number one organization in baseball. And I think we're hanging our hat on that, saying, wow, we're the best organization in baseball. Look at all our prospects. And now here they all are in the big leagues. And we got to find a way to win with them,
Bordy, I get everything you're saying.
I mean, look, the one undeniable thing is it costs money to do it. And if you're not willing to do that, I mean, whether or not it's, like you said, sort of projecting ahead, hey, we're going to need to put this kind of money up for Gunnar or Westberg, whether or not it's that, and I'm not suggesting they should give Soto $765 million. So when I say this, whether or not it's giving your own guys the money or ponying up money for Juan Soto or whoever it is, right? The new hot guy of the day. Like, it costs money to do it. It's that simple. You're not doing it with magic, and you're not doing it, as you said, primarily with young, untested kids. You're just not.
Yeah. Right. I just think you got to look at other teams, and I keep going back to the Rays, because I feel like they're going to kind of bounce back. It seems like they're always kind of there because they keep coming up with talent through their minor league systems. But also, how did the Royals contend last year and all of a sudden be that Cinderella story? They just had good foresight, the ability to see pitchers that they thought they could, work with. I know they caught some diamonds in the rough for sure, but there are some plans, some proven plans that are out there. And if the Orioles aren't going to be able to compete with the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, which they're not, they've got to face that and say they can't. Then they've got to have a solid foundation of how they're going to, work this for sustainable success. And it just doesn't. I don't know. Right now, it's still kind of a mystery. And I think this off season was going to be kind of an answer for us as fans of what direction they were going to take. How are they going to go about it? And I don't know that they've quite answered that just yet.
I understand it. Mike Bordick, what can we plug for you, my friends?
Well, you've already put a good hit in for Adam Jones coming into the baseball warehouse. We're doing a lot of great things. And, it's not just baseball, too. We've got an awesome softball program that's really starting to take off. I think for softball players, you got to really take a look at that. And, of course, the League of Dreams. We just finished 2 of our really great year-ending events. We have an awesome partnership with the community colleges in Catonsville and over in Dundalk and Essex. And we just had 2 awesome events where the student athletes and the students, because there are a lot of special needs students that are attending our junior colleges, they all competed and participated, and it was just a great time. So thanks for letting me say that. It's been a lot of fun doing that. So the year ended up right. We're excited about our challenges for 2025.
Love you, brother. Always appreciate you. If I don't talk to you beforehand, Merry Christmas to you and your family, but we will talk again soon no matter what. Thank you for hopping on today.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
The great Mike Bordick. He's fired up today.
He's very angry.
He is fired up.
I love it. Well, I mean,
right. I get his points.
I was going
to
disagree with him on one thing. He said we had 4 dark years. I wanted to say, you mean 24?
Well, I mean, the more recent 4. Right.
You mean 24,
yeah,
don't
no,
you?
there was a good stretch in there that you blocked out. There was,
12 to 16 was reasonable.
I mean, it was pretty good. They were the winningest team in baseball during that stretch. I don't know if you've heard that.
I did. I also heard we didn't go to the World Series.
That's also true. All right, really quickly.
Although that ball definitely, the ball McLeod hit.
Yeah, we're still going to do that. Would you rather Wednesday,
fair.
number 1, would you rather the Ravens win out?
Yes.
They're the 3 seed.
Yes.
And host the Steelers.
No.
They win out. They're the 5 seed and go to Houston.
Well, then that means we got to go to probably to go to either Buffalo or Kansas City next.
Almost certainly Kansas City at this point.
I'd rather have a home playoff game, but I know that's dangerous. I'm not here that weekend either, by the way. I'm in Florida, so I'm kind of personally aggrieved by that. But
right.
But anyway.
How dare they?
But anyway.
How dare they not get the 1 seed this year?
But anyway,
worked out for me last year. I was on a cruise and was very much sweating the fact that I wasn't going to be around for a playoff game.
I'd rather than play at home. I just would.
I don't know if you've heard they haven't done so well against the Steelers over the years. I don't know if you're
of that is
I don't know if you're familiar with
Lamar
that.
didn't play.
Yeah, they haven't done great in the games that Lamar played in either.
Yeah, well, that's you say that because you don't like the team.
Right, you know me. By the way, everybody's defaulting to the play. And I get it. We all want to have a home playoff game. I understand the feeling. I would, if you ask me right now, who would you rather play in the first round, the Texans or the Steelers? 10 times out of 10, I'd rather play the Texans.
Well, have you seen their helmets?
10 times. I get it. I understand that. 10 times out of 10.
I don't know. You saw what the Patriots did last week when they wore Pat the Patriot.
I understand. I get that you're supposed to say take the home game. I completely understand that.
Well, you also, can't we ask this question after next week? When we see what happens next Saturday.
Right, with the Steelers, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Like, well,
They're
I'm
not
telling
coming here. I'm doing it, by the way, next Thursday.
Oh, you're going to do it? Oh, good.
Russell Wilson's not coming here and beating us.
I'm sure that'll go well.
We're not losing
Yeah.
to Russell Wilson and his painted fingernails in Baltimore.
Painted fingernails can obviously not win games. Everybody knows that. You can't win a game with painted fingernails.
Just
Yeah,
not.
I'll take the home game. You can't.
Correct.
Number two.
Any man who goes and gets his fingers painted and clipped and filed and then gets them shined, he ain't coming here and winning.
If the Ravens lose next Saturday, you obviously know you have to get your fingernails painted.
Oh,
like you recognize that,
that's
right?
done.
Like that's what you're.
No.
That's what you're setting yourself up for. You understand?
That's done.
Okay. Ravens lose next Saturday. You're going to go out. You got to get the full thing, and you have to pay for it. I'm not paying for it for you.
Done.
This is
Done.
I don't know which is
Don't
less
say
likely.
anything else.
I don't know which is less
Russell
likely.
Wilson's not coming here with his manicured fingernails and beating us.
If the Ravens lose next Saturday, you're going out.
Done.
And we get Griffin and I get to design what goes on your fingernails. We get to choose. We'll
As long as it's not like a Loyola
right?
L.
Like
I'm not doing that.
Right.
Or a Flyers logo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that.
He took away idea number one, but
it's like when I told Van Brooks we'd give him $5,000 if he put a Coward Hall hat on. He goes, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I said, Van,
it's
you're trying
$5,000,
to start a foundation.
Right? Yeah,
it's $5,000. He said, I'm not doing it.
Number two, would you rather?
But yes, I'll do that because some guy with his manicured fingernails isn't coming here and beating us in a football game.
All right, well,
maybe if we were playing chess.
Write that down since we don't know what it was that we bet on the last time, and we got to work on that after the
We're
show.
not losing to Russell Wilson. Now,
Num-
if Justin Fields plays, it's different. Oh, then I think his might be manicured too. But we're not losing to Russell Wilson.
If Russell Wilson beats the Ravens in Baltimore
He's not.
next Saturday, Drew is going to get the whole 9 yards. He's going in for it. Number two, would you rather?
Dude, I'm telling you, if you put a hoodie on and a hat.
Stop it.
This
The
is
Orioles
the guy.
address. No, he's not.
I'm telling
I'm
you.
pretty sure.
I'm just saying.
Although I
Do
might
I
start
need
locking
to-
the doors. I might start doing that.
Do I need to say my admission or not? Or
Yeah,
my
no,
Keep your receipts.
We got to move
innocence here?
forward. We got to check in with our buddy.
I
We're
gotta
checking
go
in with our buddy Kenny.
I gotta go.
Montalvo.
We're doing
Yeah.
Christmas.
Number two, would
Church.
you rather? Would you work on something for us? Number two, would you rather the Orioles trade for Garrett Crochet and give up either Kobe Mayo or Samuel Basayo as part of the package? It's going to be more than that, but it centers around either Mayo or Basayo or 5/125 for Sean Manaea.
Well, I'm not giving up those guys for that pitcher because he's unproven.
I mean, he had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, he had one good year. You people do this all the time. You get worked up over some kid who had one good year. I'm not giving up those.
Sean Manaea is the most proven pitcher
No,
of all time.
But I'm not giving up those products and those
You
kids
just want to hoard all the prospects.
well, I'm not giving it up for that guy.
Okay.
So that's the end of that.
All right. Very good.
Jeez.
But
Very
you guys
good.
love doing that. You love hanging on to these
I'm taking
one-hit
Crochet.
wonders.
You're trading for Crochet.
You're the one that thought Aha
Today,
was going to the
actually.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What? Who did it?
Back in the day, you're like, Aha! Have you heard that song? They're going to the Hall of Fame.
Number three, would you rather? This is inspired in part by some friends of mine who got stuck on Space Mountain this week
Oh, that sounds
at
fun.
Disney World. They were stuck at the top of Space Mountain.
Your friends got.
Yeah.
Oh.
So would you rather? You're stuck on a roller coaster for an hour.
I was on Space Mountain like 2 Saturdays ago.
Obnoxiously, they made it
My
legal.
friend's like,
They made it legal.
try this.
Right.
What?
Would you rather? You're stuck for an hour on a roller coaster safely. You're not in danger.
Okay.
You're safely stuck.
Okay.
Loud music, loud Christmas music playing the entire time
Love it.
with intermediate announcements, not intermediate, regular announcements. Please stay in your car. Please stay in the car.
So that's
Okay.
Please stay in the car.
I'm good with that.
Yeah? I'd rather be waterboarded. Or
well, that's it though. That's the
Or-
end of the announcement, and then
yeah, I mean, it was a
Comes up
whole.
3
It was
minutes on,
no. It
3
was.
minutes
Or
It
you
was
get
like
waterboarded.
every or
Remember when the fire alarm went off on
do.
Jim Rome's show?
quick or number two. This is a story that actually happened recently. You're stuck for an hour on a plane with someone who's eating a particularly smelly tuna melt sandwich right next to you, and it's awful. Like everyone's doing the thing.
I'll take the roller coaster
I'm just gonna hang out
because you got to come down too at some point.
at some point. Well, they didn't. They just rescued them. They
Oh.
sent somebody up.
Oh, you didn't. The thing didn't.
and you know that Disney.
Oh
made
well,
this
I'm
right
in
as
for the
well.
rescue.
Yeah, you're in for the
Let's
rescue.
go in for the whole thing. It's like
By the way,
Tom
because
Hanks
people are trying
on
to
the
cheat
island.
people are trying to cheat on this. You don't get any free stuff from Disney.
Well, they give you at least one fast pass.
Because I'm not giving you on Space Mountain. It's just a generic roller
Yeah,
coaster.
but I got to get a fast pass or
Yes,
something.
generic roller coaster is all you're
We
getting.
got stuck on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Everybody keeps thinking like,
Yeah, but I'm getting
Disney.
free chicken
No.
fingers or something.
No, you're not getting anything.
I'm still doing the roller coaster.
We got,
You're
to,
still
we got to
doing
walk through Pirates of the Caribbean because
Yeah.
got stuck.
You know me, man. I'm a thrill seeker.
All right, I got to go. We got to take a break.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Are you the NBA corner?
NBA Corner.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
And Russell Wilson.
Drew
that's
For-
2 Saturdays.
Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com. We'll come back in, catch up with our buddy Ken Niumatalolo. That's next, Glenn Clark Radio.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Pressbox's Project Game Day is the place to be after every game this season. Join Glenn Clark, Rita Hubbard, Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo, and our cast of regulars as they break down what happened, why it mattered, and what it means moving forward. You can watch the show at PressBoxOnline.com/gameday or Pressbox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Project Game Day is brought to you by the Green Turtle Sportsbook in Towson and Canton, Easy Pass, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. So join us for Project Game Day after every game day this football season at PressBoxOnline.com/game day.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The top high school basketball talent from across the country returns to the Wycomico Civic Center December 26th through 30th for the Governor's Challenge presented by Pohanka of Salisbury. Witness 5 full days of elite competition featuring over 140 high school basketball teams from 16 states plus Canada. Multiple top 10 teams and nationally ranked players will display their talents on the court. Don't miss the best experience in high school hoops. For tickets and info, visit govchallenge.org.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Wednesday edition of the program. Today's show is also brought to you by the CIAA Tournament, which is back in Baltimore, CFG Bank Arena. And you have an opportunity right now to take advantage of a great holiday deal, $10 off single-session general admission tickets when you use the promo code HOLIDAY at CIAAtournament.org. I wanted to catch up with our next guest. As you all know, he's one of my favorite human beings on the face of the planet, and he still has one more game to play. I was about to say he finished up his first season, but that's not remotely true because of everyone that got their bowl assignment. I know all the teams that made the playoff were really excited. I don't know that anybody in the country was more excited about the bowl assignment than this man was, because his team is headed to play in the Hawaii Bowl against South Florida. He's the head coach at San Jose State. He is our friend, Ken Niumatalolo, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. Happy holidays to you, sir. Thank you, as always, taking the time for us.
Yeah, good morning, Glenn. Aloha. Yeah, thank you. And what you said was exactly right.
Yeah, I knew that was the case. They said, Coach, there's a lot of bowl options on the table. First, the Hawaii Bowl. Stop. Stop. No.
Well, actually, I talked with our AD, and he told us the possibilities, and he, like you said, he went through them, and you know, I'll be grateful to go to any bowl. I'm like, oh, please.
Let's just make it work, make it happen. Coach, congratulations on a great first season. When you arrived, did you have a feeling that it wasn't gonna be, you know, like that this team was gonna be able to click and you know, beat ACC teams and compete in the Mountain West? Did anything about this season maybe even surprise you with how well it went?
Well, it just, you know, there's always concern, Glenn. You know, we got here. You know, with the portal, when the coach leaves, then the portal opens. So we had guys leave. I mean, they didn't know us. I had to assemble a staff. You know, over half of the guys are new on the roster, so you're trying to assimilate the team to kind of get to know each other. You know what I mean? Half of the guys are like, okay, who are these guys? But I thought the coaches did a really good job of getting them to buy in, to build a family culture. Just really proud and happy for these kids. They're great young men. They're great people. But no, I thought it was going to be tough. I thought when I got here and looking at all the other rosters and for civilian schools, not so much at an academy because guys are there. They come to the prep school further. But I thought the key was going to be is how quickly could you get the team to become a family? And that was the key, I feel like, to try to get guys to buy in, become one. Everybody's coming from different schools, and I thought our players did a really good job, and the coaches did a really good job of doing that.
Coach, you know, you mentioned that. Obviously, you spent a little time in between at UCLA, so you got a taste of it. But, you know, can you put into words how truly different it is? You use the term civilian school right now to be at a program that isn't a service academy and having to step into that world of NIL and guys saying, yeah, you want me? It's going to, like, how different of a job truly is it being at San Jose State in comparison to being at the academy?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be very hard to go straight from, you know, the Naval Academy or Service Academy school to go straight to a civilian school. It'd be hard. Just there's a lot of things that are different. And like you said, that time, Glenn, at UCLA last year, you know, the one season I was there, I was able to sit back and watch Coach Kelly, see how recruiting went, see how the portal went, see how NIL went, saw how they managed their roster. Because at the Service Academy, you got huge rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And especially now with next year, you know, with the rosters going down to 105, you know, that was an adjustment, you know, just seeing the roster size. So there's a lot of things that you had to get used to, and being at UCLA definitely helped me for that.
Coach, you know, I brought up beating an ACC team. I know that this wasn't a power Stanford team, although they were a team that just had beaten Louisville and, you know, obviously played Cal down to the wire. That feels like in that part of the world that would be a really significant result and would go a long way to showing, you know, that community what it is that you're capable of doing. Was that as significant as it, again, across the country, removed from it, feels like it would be for your program?
Especially because where they're at, because we're both here. We're both here in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? And, you know, they're the closest school to us. Cal is right down the street also. And so everybody knows of Stanford. They're prestigious school that they are, and they're a really good athletic program, a lot of different sports, and obviously football. They've had a tradition of having good teams, so that was a big win for us. Also beating Oregon State.
Yeah,
it was a Pac-12 school, and you know we lost to Washington State in triple overtime. We had a great chance to beat them, so those are probably things that I'm most proud of. We had a chance to beat 3 Power 5 schools, and we were up on Boise and, 14-0 against Boise, and we were up on UNLV, 2 teams that were ranked. And so that's what I tell our team. I say, guys, we were up, and if they had a smart enough head coach to kick a field goal, we could have been up on Boise 17-0, a team it's the 3rd-ranked team in the playoffs. And
Right.
So I think it gives us hope, Glenn, for the future. Obviously, we lost some games, but there's also some glimmer of hope that we did some things that hopefully catapult us to the future.
I'm going to ask this question, and I hope you understand that I'm asking. Did you need to have a season like this to know, hey, it's not just the academy, it's not just triple option? Did you have any doubts? I know what a great coach you are. I know that there's a lot of schools that are insane for not, either hiring you or keeping you around. Conversation for another day. But did you have any doubts about can I definitely do this at a different program? Did you go through any of that personally?
Well, I mean, obviously we're throwing the ball a lot more than I ever did at Navy. You know what I mean? We're 5th in the country in throwing the football. I mean, there's games we throw the ball a lot of times over 50 times a game, and that's been different. And I've always been a time of possession, grind the clock. But now I've become more in valuing possessions and explosive plays. But Glenn, I always thought I don't do a lot of things well in life, but I always thought my skill was leadership.
Yeah.
Just getting people to go in one page and go in one direction. If there's anything that the only thing I can do in life is I can't do, like I said, I can't do a lot of other things, but getting people to buy in, to be in the same place, to build a family, to build a culture of love. And so the things that I did at Navy were the same things that I did here besides the offense. But everything else, the way we eat together, the way I tell our coaches how to treat players, that I don't want guys MFing players. I want them to treat them with love and respect. Those kinds of things, I know that those qualities that have transferred. Probably the thing that has been reassuring to me is I talk to players here at the end of our games, and hey, coach, we love it here. We love the culture a bit. We love you. There's similar comments and relationships that I had with, my dear brothers that I coached at Navy. And so those were the things that were important to me. It wasn't so much schematically.
Right.
I knew I wanted a system on offense. And I knew that's what Craig Stutzman had, a system like how we had Navy. But more importantly, just building a family culture was key.
And obviously that's the thing that we love most about you. And so I'm not surprised at all by the fact that it's worked out that way. Coach Ken Niumatalolo is with us. San Jose State is getting ready to play in the Hawaii Bowl. Coach, if I could, just that I would wonder, was it difficult for the first game where you're throwing the ball 40 times in a game? Is there any part of you that's like, oh, I don't like this? Did it take any amount? Was there any sort of itchiness to you about making that transition?
It was different.
Yeah.
And there was some times you're like, wait, it's 3rd and 1 and we're throwing it deep. You know what I mean? But I wanted our offensive coordinator to know that I trusted him.
Yeah.
That I was going to get him freedom. You know what I mean? I believed in what he did, that I wasn't going to micromanage him that way, because I know it's like in the game, and, Ivan did a phenomenal job for me for years. I probably told Ivan more things than I needed to, probably interrupted him more in calling games. But Ivan did a great job, and I just know that in calling plays, you can't have 20 people in your ear telling you things. And so I just want to make sure that he had that freedom. But it was different. It was hard. And, in our first game going to Air Force, just playing them, we're throwing the ball at places I've been here a lot of times, but these games haven't been like this. When one team's running and one team's throwing it. And, so that was different. Going to Air Force this year, it was a little different. I mean, obviously we want to beat them, but it wasn't the same. You know what I mean, Glenn?
Right.
The Service Academy rivalry, obviously the Army-Navy games this week, is just, there was a different feel when I came with all my teams from the Naval Academy as opposed to coming with this team. Not that we didn't want to win, but that was different because it was a lot. The stakes, when I was at Navy, was a lot different, but just everything involved. I just knew that what it meant to come and play Air Force was different. So that was unique coming to that stadium. Some of the guys are laughing when we're coming there, and they're like, well, hopefully our results are better than the last time I was here. So, and I was some of those guys that, I've been here probably more than any other opposing coach.
Right.
The times that we played these guys. But there were those differences of clock management, running the ball, going to Air Force, and the feelings were a little bit different. Yeah, it was those things to me were kind of unique.
Coach, you brought up, obviously, this week is Army-Navy, and few people have been more synonymous with Army-Navy games than you have in modern history. I talk a lot about, like, the first time that I went and how emotional it was for me. Like, the scene, it gets you. And, how important it was for me for years to go and do the broadcast the day before and do the Radio Row thing and, bring in my wife who isn't a 10 as a football fan, but like had moments where she looked around and was like emotional about all of it. Can you, for anyone who's never been, it's back in Maryland this year, back in Baltimore next year, just what the game meant to you. I know how much it meant to you to be the Navy football coach, but specifically Army-Navy, how much it meant to you and what it means really to the sport and to America.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know if there's any other game like it. I really don't. I don't know if there's any other game like it. There obviously would be the college football playoffs. And I've always said this before. Obviously, the big Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Auburn, USC, UCLA, or whatever the case are. There's a lot of them that they have, but the Army-Navy game, it's so different. I feel like it touched the whole country. The other games they're huge games, but they're regional. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows somebody that serves in the Navy or the Army or Marine Corps, so you pick sides. It's the time that you pick sides, and so, it meant everything to me. And even though I'm no longer there, no longer working there, it will always be for me, go Navy, beat Army. That will never change. And just, it's interesting talking to somebody here. I can't remember the connotation, like, oh, you're no longer at Navy anymore. And I think they're talking about, Armies, this and that. And like, I don't want to talk about that. And just that hasn't changed. Just, and even though I was here, at the Naval Academy, my brother who passed away served in the Army, was a lieutenant colonel, and I love my brother. But when it came to that week and that game, things are different.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just so I don't think there's a game like it. It's unique to our country. You recognize all that goes into it. I know what Coach Newberry is going through right now.
Yeah.
I know the sleepless nights that he's having now. And I know what the players are going through, and I know what's happening in Annapolis. Having been there and coached there for 25 years, I feel like I got as good a perspective as anybody, maybe besides Coach, Steve Belichick, who passed away, having been in that game so many times. That there's nothing like it. I remember seeing Urban Meyer before one of the games. He was in the tunnel, came to watch the game, and we just shook hands quickly, and he just kind of looked at me. And he just talked about it. He knew the intensity of the game, but this is a man that's coached in national championship games. Obviously, coached in the Ohio State, Michigan game many times. He knew that this game was different. The aura, the atmosphere, the pageantry, just everything about it. But I don't think there's another game like it.
No. There's certainly, and every time someone, it sounds trite, like the sentence that everybody brings out around this time, it's like it's the only game where everybody on the field is going to die for everybody in the stands, and you hear it so many times that maybe it loses power, but then when you stop and think about it, it really does make you emotional. Like, it will move you to tears in those moments when you think about the power of that sentence, and it's an incredible thing. You know, obviously you mentioned that you still, you know, I know you still have vested interest, right? Because your son's still on the staff. One of the things that I really, you know, I appreciate Coach Newberry a great deal, and he's been a great friend, and but you know, he goes out of his way to talk about how much you meant to him. Do you talk to him at all? I know you got plenty of your own problems to deal with. Like, do you guys talk at all, or is it, hey, I need to leave him alone and let him go through this? Like, what is that dynamic like?
No, we text he and I text during the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After big games, I congratulate him. You know, he'll do the same. You know, every now I might shoot him something, he'll shoot me something. But I've been really respectful to him that this is Brian's team.
Yeah.
This team, do it the way you want. You're the leader, you know, and I wasn't gonna interfere that way and stuff like that. But you know, our relationship hasn't changed that way. We still text each other, you know, after big games, congratulating each other. Actually, there's quite a few people there still on the team, and coaches, staff members that we still text.
That's awesome.
You know, I mean, I was there so many years. You know what I mean, Glenn? I don't have any bad feelings about the Naval Academy. I love that place.
Yep.
I love the school. I love the people. Like people ask, oh, you must have really enjoyed your time there. I goes, no, I didn't enjoy my time. I loved my time at the Naval Academy. And so yeah, I'm still friends with a lot of people there. We still text. My son Craig said me and Chet still text.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow.
You know, I text him after games. It's just, I mean, it's the business. You know what I mean, Glenn? Yep. And just, I mean, you know, at first the emotions are raw, but the business. I have nothing bad about the Naval. Everything that happened to me and my family there ended up being great. I mean, I loved living there. All the I mean, I still in contact with a ton of players. That same thing that text me after games or call me or whatever, and how it influenced me and my family, I'll be forever grateful for.
Yep.
And so I love that place. And so yeah, I miss it, but I'm happy for the people there, and I'm happy for Brian. I'm happy for, you know, they're playing well. Obviously, Blake's been awesome watching him play, and so yeah. And like you said, my son's there, and I'm grateful that he's there. And it's like for him too, and like my son and my kids, like we'll talk about the games, different things, and you know, my son will bring back all these games that, you know, that we played there. But my son grew up in Annapolis.
Right.
You know, he's Broadneck. He went to how many Army-Navy games just growing up, and now he's coaching there. But Annapolis is in his blood. And so when he recruits and talks about the Naval Academy, it's not anything he learned from me. It's because he grew up in Annapolis, and he grew up coming to games for years and decades. So, yeah, it's, I still keep in contact with them. And you know, when you spend a place almost half of your life at a certain school, it's not just another school. It's huge. It will all be a part of it. So, yeah, that's where it's at.
I know I've kept you so long, but I would really be remiss if I didn't give you a second to say something about Pete, because, you know, he's one of the most important people in my professional life. He's one of the people that I care about most deeply. And I think most everybody is familiar with what Pete Medhurst is going through right now, battling brain cancer, and it's not okay to get to an Army-Navy week and for Pete not to be there. But can you just speak to people about what he meant to you and the relationship that you shared with Pete, and how significant he is to the community?
Well, he's the best. I mean, he's, you know, the voice of Navy sports. I mean, he's the best. And and Brian's doing that now. I mean, we met every week. You know, Pete would come, we'd meet every week and talk about the previous game, and then talk about the next game. But before you turned on his reporter, we always talked.
Yeah.
We always talked talked about different things, and it wasn't all. It's not bad stuff, but we just talked about life. You know, he was a huge basketball guy. His son played. He officiated. You know, I mean, we just talked about a lot of things about life, even before we would start talking about the next opponent. or the previous game. And I love those conversations with Pete. But, you know, he's a dear friend, like all of us, you know, anybody that knows him, we're all praying for him and his family. But he's one of the best in the business, the consummate professional, the voice of Navy sports. And that, in my mind, I always hear his voice.
Yeah, associated with every great moment.
But, yeah, we're all praying for him. I mean, he's an awesome man. And, yeah, we're all praying for him.
Coach, you know I love you, brother. I'm so happy for you. Is it okay for me to say Mele Kalikimaka? Am I allowed to share that?
Mele Kalikimaka, Merry Christmas, Mele Kalikimaka. And it's always great talking to you, man. Love you too, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, take care.
Coach Ken Niumatalolo. I'm really happy for him, man. You know, they're really happy for him. And I'm happy, you know, obviously it's easier that it's worked out well on both sides, right? That, like, he's found success. Navy's still sustaining success. It's not awkward. It's not – I love that. I love that. I love that it's a win for everybody. But as humans go, you're not going to get you know, I'm saying something that I've told you a billion times. There are not finer humans than Ken Niumatalolo. And man, what he did, we'll always be grateful for. And I'm really not. Like, I think there are a lot of schools that are like, this can't work. All he ever did was triple option. It works service academies, and he is clearly proving that it ain't that simple. That what he does as a leader and how he can be the CEO of a program will transcend beyond you know, just a certain style of offense. Appreciate him taking the time for us. And, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the odds they don't give you the odds when you do the bowl pick'em. They give you, like, the percentage of people. I don't care if it was 99% of people that were on South Florida. I would be joining the 1% on San Jose State. That's the way that it would be. I don't know what the numbers are. It might be that San Jose State's had a nice season. I imagine there's a good deal of support for them. They did literally just beat Stanford a couple weeks ago. I 1,000% picked them in the bowl pick'em to win the Hawaii Bowl. So if you're looking to go opposite of me, if you say, hey, I've seen how your picks have gone. I've been paying attention.
But it's a pick'em, so maybe
it's true. The spread is
out
of the conversation. I don't know what the spread is in the Hawaii Bowl. All right, very good. We're winding down here on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. Get me your responses at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Someone is winning a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill. Griffin, you want to remind everybody about what's going on? Oh,
yeah, San Jose's 2.5-point favorites.
2.5-point favorites against South Florida. I like them to cover, too.
Oh, God. All right, see, now it's not good.
Well, they don't have to cover in order to win in the bowl pick'em. They could win by 1 point. We're good.
If you feel good about it like Glenn does, you can head over to Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, as well as, if you are a Live Rewards member, you can get $7 in free slot play, because every time that Baltimore or Washington's football team score touchdowns during home games this season, Live Rewards members are getting $7 in free slot play. You have to have your Live Rewards card inserted correctly into the slot machine, any slot machine on the floor, and be actively playing in order to get your prize. But once those touchdowns score, home games for Baltimore and Washington this season, $7 in free slot play. Adderall Mills must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, when we come back in, we'll get a tidbit. We will get tubular. We will wind things down as it is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Visit Harford County this holiday season for a brand new event. You'll feel like you stepped into a holiday movie. Harford Holidays is overflowing with the spirit of the holiday season. You'll be amazed by the jaw-dropping light displays, thrilled by a visit to Santa's workshop, and have the holiday time of your life with sleigh rides, a special vendor village, s'mores making stations, and so much more. It's a holiday light experience, new at Ripken Stadium, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, December 6th through December 22nd. For ticket information, head to visitharford.com. You'll have the happiest holiday season ever.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas's 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin, and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Brooks Dubose profiles Maryland basketball forwards Derek Queen and Julian Reese as the Baltimore-built duo reunites in College Park with hopes of bringing the Terps back to prominence. Also inside, meet college basketball players from all of the area's D1 programs. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores, where you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here as we are winding down for today's show. Don't forget, Project Game Day is back this Sunday, immediately following Ravens-Giants. Come over, hang out with us. PressBoxOnline.com/game day. Myself, Rita, Femi, KZ, Steck, the whole crew be talking about whatever happens. God, could you imagine? Let's not think about that. It's all brought to you by Hartford Holidays, Governor's Challenge, Easy Pass, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. We will see you Sunday following the game for Project Game Day, PressBoxOnline.com/game day. Ravens are slated to practice today.
Where do you think they'll practice?
Guess it'll be indoors. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be in New York on Sunday, although I'll guess it's cold. Like, if I just had to venture a guess, maybe it's something we should look into. Is it's easy to say the Giants bad, Ravens win, but maybe we should at least do a little bit of work and find out. East Rutherford, New Jersey weather is slated to be on Sunday. No precipitation, but 43 degrees.
Okay.
High of 43, low of 41. So apparently
Football
42 degrees all day. It going to be cold on Sunday, but not as cold as it could be, obviously. So, yeah, I guess they'll practice indoors today. Also, a significant press conference being held today by the state of Maryland. It's being hosted at Camden Yards about how there's going to be an evolution for Preakness moving forward. Obviously, we know that there are changes coming for Preakness and for Pimlico specifically, but the way that the state will present as the new operators of the Preakness with the new nonprofit MTROA. They are going to present some of those plans. I think some of them have already leaked out. So I'm trying to. This is one of those things where, like, I know things, but I can't talk about it type of deals. Or I'm not sure I'm allowed to say anything about it. And then I looked, and I think I saw that somebody else was already reporting it. Yeah, there you go. The Baltimore Banner today. It's the Preakness Festival will begin this year with the 150th running of the Preakness, and it's supposed to be a little bit more like the Kentucky Derby in the way that the community there lifts up and celebrates. There will be a larger number of events, and the Preakness, instead of being one day, one race, the idea is that the Preakness brand will kind of live out throughout the region. According to the Baltimore Banner, it's a $3 million investment in the Preakness Festival, which will surround the run-up to the second jewel of the Triple Crown, not just in the Park Heights neighborhood, not just in Baltimore, but throughout the state, embracing and celebrating, and some of those details will be made public today at a press conference that will involve the governor and will involve David Rubenstein is scheduled to be there. Awkward timing, I guess, but, it's what it is. And a number of partners that will be involved with this Preakness Festival. So a lot of buy-in from a lot of people around the state about trying to lift up this marquee event moving forward. So that'll be a storyline today, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. And I'm thinking if there's anything else that we needed to cover.
Did you see the report from Jip Morosi?
No, JP. Old JP.
It said the Orioles are among teams interested in trading for Dylan Cease.
So he, I don't know. I think maybe he was on with Ryan Ripken yesterday,
that's right,
and threw that out there. And I saw that clip that was being shared. The immediate response that a lot of people have to these rumblings about Dylan Cease is, "Are you serious? Why in the world would the Padres be looking to trade Dylan Cease? That doesn't make sense." Well, the Padres have kind of done this a little bit where, like, yeah, they're going to spend money, but they're only going to spend so much money. And much like Corbin Burns last year, Dylan Cease is a pending free agent after this season. So for the Padres, they're trying to walk the line of, we've talked about this before with the Orioles, the possibility of doing both, right? Like both acquiring players and reloading and trying to acquire prospects, trying to extend the window. Now, to this point, what's that done for the Padres? It's gotten them 0 World Series appearances. So we can have a conversation about whether or not it's smart to do that versus being all in. But they've kind of told you that they would walk both ways. That they would little column A, little column B. We want to be good, but we don't want to mortgage our future every year in order to be good. And if we're going to trade away prospects to acquire players, then we also are going to occasionally have to trade players to acquire prospects. Am I opposed to Dylan Cease? Absolutely not. Like, it's certainly a top-of-the-rotation pitcher that the Orioles need. What's the cost, and can you keep doing this every year of acquiring, paying that price for guys for 1 year? Garrett Crochet would only be 2 years, and so you can make the argument of, like, when we talk about that price of is it a Kobe Mayo, is it a, is that, if you can get a guy for 1 year at a lesser price. Again, Corbin Burns' price, we all looked at and said, it's worth it for 1 year at Corbin Burns. What is the equivalent of that this year? I don't know. Trying to think of who would be in that.
Like who the Orioles would have to give
what
up.
Would be the equivalent of what the price was they paid for Corbin Burns last year? They would have to pay a similar price for in order to get Dylan Cease.
You probably point at like Stowers and Norby.
The guys there. I don't think the Padres would have had any interest in Stowers.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but like that looks like
and Norby too. Like, I think they'd be looking for. My gut would tell me if you're moving Cease, it's for younger, right? Like, it's for fortifying. I don't think you're.
So
if your priority is guys that are major league ready, then why not try to win with Dylan Cease, right?
So you're thinking Chase McDermott and somebody?
Yeah, probably be in the or Povich.
Yeah.
You want to do that? Like that? I'm not opposed to Dylan
Right.
Cease. Obviously, I'm not opposed to it. But is always acquiring guys in the final year of their deals and then watching them leave and saying, "Hey, but we'll get a 36th overall draft pick out of it."
But hey, that could be Gunnar Henderson. You know?
I understand, but is that the way to go about winning a World Series? Like, this
Yeah.
is the problem of me having this conversation. Is we're getting into, is it good business versus is it the best way to win a World Series? Because you could make an argument for it being decent business, right? Like, we trade a couple of prospects. What's the likelihood that they're, like one of them might be one that we look back and say, damn.
Right.
But we can maybe get that back by losing that player and getting this competitive, balanced pick out of it if we extend a qualifying offer. So you extend a qualifying offer to Dylan Cease at the end of the year, you get whatever the pick would be, 37, 38, somewhere in that range. You get that pick. And you say, we could turn that into whatever it is that we traded, and in your mind, you can make this math work, right? You could say, what's the likelihood that the 3 guys that we give are all going to be hits? Probably going to be one guy that's a hit, and we could get that hit back. It's the math that the Ravens are doing, like with Roquan Smith, right? Like, well, if we trade a second-round pick for him and it doesn't work out, or we aren't able to sign him, then we're getting a third-round pick back. So the trade-off was moving a round back in the draft for a half a year of a really good football player, potentially. And you can do that math. You can make that math work and justify a trade in that moment. And they could justify trading for Dylan Cease the same way. When we get a season of Dylan Cease, maybe it works out great. And in the end, we probably give up one guy that's really it's a significant cost, but we get a guy that might be a significant prospect out of it. That math works. And it sounds smart to us. And we say, okay, yeah. But is it the best way to try to capitalize on the talent pool that you have right now to win a World Series? And that's the difficulty for Orioles fans that we're struggling with in the moment. That 1 year of Dylan Cease, you would say, yeah, that is a good way to go about trying to capitalize on it. Didn't work out with the 1 year of Corbin Burns. I'm torn. I think all it is JP Morosi throwing something out right now.
All right, so if it's Dylan Beavers and Chase McDermott.
You just came up with that?
Yeah,
I mean, like on paper, you'd say yes. Make that trade. I do think it's a little bit tougher for the Padres to make a trade that doesn't get a priority player back than it would have been for the Brewers, because like the Brewers were going to be good. The Padres are supposed to win the World Series.
Right.
So I do think that, like, for them to trade Dylan Cease, it might have to involve a higher end.
I'm trying to think of what the Padres' needs
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
Something like that. I'm like, well, what about?
Right.
I don't like that. I mean, Cedric Mullins. Like, what's that?
See, I
don't know. That helps them.
I don't know. All right. You want to go ahead and do a tidbit?
Yeah, did you see Ohio is passing a new law, apparently? Ohio State Representative Josh Williams is introducing the OHIO Sportsmanship Act.
Oh, to get rid of...
it would be a felony to plant a flag in the center of Ohio Stadium.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously that's absurd. Like, but I get it, and what that really might be is you guys got to fix this. Just fix this. This is clearly theater of the absurd. Like, what are you doing? Although in Ohio it would score political points. And it's totally possible they could pass this law. But just fix it. We all know this can't continue. We all know, to make it a felony is, come on, what are we doing? But just fix it. Just say whatever you need to say to make sure it doesn't happen anymore. The conferences, the school, everybody's got to get together and say, here's what the penalty is going to be that we know means if you are involved with planting a flag, then the team has to forfeit the game. The game that you just won now goes down as a loss.
Jeez.
You want to make sure it doesn't happen again?
I mean, yeah.
That's the way it doesn't happen again. Like, it requires something that makes it so there's no...
Now, what about tridents? Can we plant
anything?
Tridents?
You can't plant anything. Like that's what these schools and conferences have to do, because this is not, if you don't take care of it, it's just going to continue. And it's just going to lead to uglier and uglier scenes, and it's just going to lead to more uncomfortable. Like these reporters getting pepper sprayed.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe there won't be lawsuits involved. Like, they didn't have anything to do with it. Just down there on the field doing your job, and you get pepper sprayed. Like, I'm not trying to come after the cops, because I understand it was a chaotic scene, and they were trying to get control of it before it turns into an actual, all-out brawl. But people that have nothing to do with that getting pepper sprayed on the field, there's going to be a lawsuit for sure. So this has to end. I mean, it has to. So you got to do something to mix it in. You ready? Yeah. All right, let's do tidbit then.
The top high school basketball talent from across the country once again returns to the Wycomico Civic Center December 26th through the 30th for the Governor's Challenge, presented by Pohanka and Salisbury. Witness 5 full days of elite competition featuring over 140 high school basketball teams from 16 states plus Canada. Multiple top 10 teams and nationally ranked players will display their talents on the court. Don't miss the best experience in high school hoops. For tickets and information, visit govchallenge.org.
What you got?
Let's go with okay, yeah. So unfortunately, Maryland basketball would not be winning the national championship this year. Yeah, it's because we know who's going to win. It is going to be one of these 12 teams, because since 2003, well, I guess the 2004 champion. So since the 2004 champion, the winner of the national championship in college basketball has always been one of the top 12 teams in the Week 6 AP poll.
How about that? Maryland's not even in it.
No, yeah, Maryland's not in it. So it's going to be one of, you don't want to tell me who's going to win? It's going to either be Auburn, Tennessee, Iowa State, Duke, Kentucky, Marquette, Alabama, Gonzaga, Florida, Kansas, Purdue, or Oregon. Right? The only two Big Ten.
Get your bets in on those 12 schools right now.
Which one do you have?
I have no idea.
Tennessee. I might go.
I mean, Auburn, I thought was the best team in the country, and then I thought for a moment it might be Kansas, and then they turned around and lost a couple
Alabama
of games.
Looks. I don't know.
If you told me I had to bet money on somebody, I'd probably put it on Kansas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I might go Tennessee.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Tennessee has they haven't really done anything.
Yeah,
they beat Louisville. Like they haven't really
at Louisville.
Yeah,
at Kelsey's Louisville. That's
I get it. It's certainly much. Yeah, it's much better than beating Louisville last year. I agree with it. Maryland did that. Maryland was terrible. Was that last year? What year did Maryland beat Louisville? They beat a Kenny Payne Louisville team.
Yeah, it might have been 2. Was it
2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago because Danny Manning was like on the sideline.
Oh, was it for Louisville?
Yeah, for Louisville.
Yeah,
for Louisville. Yeah. All right, Josh Allen. Just more stats from Sunday's game. He now has the. Let me make sure I get. Yes, he now has the most career games of 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. 5 career games with 2 passing and 2 rushing. There have been 13 players to have multiple games of this. There have been 13 players that have multiple games of this. That's a large list, but I do think that you can get it. Let's see if you can get. Go ahead and give me 10 of the 13.
Ryan Shell just wandered in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's Ryan Shell right there. He's thank you to the Ed Block Courage Awards, who kindly donated an autographed Zay Flowers photo for our charity raffle, and Ryan personally delivered it to me instead of me having to go drive all over town, which I now have to do for the winner of the autograph. But Ryan, look at a good guy, Ryan Shell, decided to come over with an autographed Zay Flowers photo for me, which I appreciate. That was very kind of him. Thank you to the Ed Block Courage Award. Seriously, that was very thoughtful of them. Now, you were saying
2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns in a game. Most games with 2 passing and 2 rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen has the record 5 games. There have been 13
I can't believe
players.
You want to say Lamar Jackson, but it's weird. Lamar Jackson does not actually rush for a lot of touchdowns.
He does not.
It's weird like that.
Only one such game of this ilk. 2 and 2.
So now you're like torn. Steve Young.
Steve Young would be the man that Josh Allen surpassed. 4 games for Steve Young in his career of 2 and 2.
John Elway.
No. Very possible he did, but less than twice.
Let's say Michael Vick.
No Mike Vick.
Let's not say it. Proctor, yeah, because Tom Brady always fell in from the 1 yard line. Tom Brady.
Not Tom Brady.
Nobody ran from 1 yard like Tom Brady did, though. No one did that. Cam Newton.
Cam Newton is be the only other man with more than that has done it more than twice. 3 games for Cam Newton. So you have Allen, Young, Cam Newton. Those are the top 3. See if you can name. All right, maybe we can see if you can name the 4 other active players.
4 other active players?
Yes.
Kyler Murray.
Not Kyler. Kyler's only done it once.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is, in fact, on this list. He has done it twice.
It can't be Deshaun Watson.
No, it is not.
Proctor says Culpepper. Dante Culpepper. He's not active.
He is not active, but Dante Culpepper is on the list. Dante Culpepper, 2 such games with 2 and 2.
He also threw out Joe Burrow. I don't think so. But
No Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
Are you Drew?
Joe Burrow.
How about Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones is on this list. Multiple games. 2 games with 2 and 2.
How about Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is on the list.
Cooking
He's
now.
getting hot. One other active guy.
Patrick Mahomes.
Not Patrick Mahomes. So he is not currently on a roster.
And then it's not Russell Wilson, Proctor. Sorry. He's not currently on a roster, but he's I don't know what that means. I don't know how that can be both things.
Yeah, I don't really get it either. Well, I don't get that why he's not on a roster is what I mean. But, yeah.
I get why he's not on a roster. Oh, so is it Ryan Tannehill?
It is Ryan Tannehill.
See, I don't think you can call him active.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you can because he's not in the NFL. Like, how do you call him active if he's not? I don't know.
We had a journeyman QB here. I'm trying to think.
Marcus Mariota.
No, not Marcus Mariota. No longer. You got all the active guys.
Got all the active
well, I guess,
guys.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota's active. San Jose State quarterback.
San Jose State quarterback.
Because he played on about 8 NFL teams.
Played on 8 NFL teams and went to San Jose State.
5, 6, 7 NFL teams. Sorry.
7 NFL teams. Jeff Garcia?
Jeff Garcia.
See, I don't think of him as a journeyman because he had he was a really good 49ers quarterback.
He was only there for 5 years? 4?
I mean, it felt like
he was on a different team every
It felt like it was longer than 5 years, but he was really good.
Jeff Garcia is correct, though. Well done. Then we have actually 2 former Ravens on this list.
Jeff Blake.
Not Jeff Blake.
Cordell Stewart.
2 such games.
Randall Cunningham.
Not Randall Cunningham.
Steve McNair.
Steve McNair, yes. And then 2 others on this list. That they're older. I don't have.
Can you just tell me so we can?
Steve Grogan.
Would it take? Yeah, I don't.
Roman Gabriel.
Okay, yeah.
First one to accomplish this.
I'm glad you just told me that was gonna be gross. All right, let's get tubular.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
Ryan, do you want to come say hello? Is he just sitting out there?
Ryan, are you still? I don't know.
What's going on with him? I never know what he's doing back. Mom, the meatloaf.
Did Ryan leave, John?
Well, did he give you the thing for me? Okay, thank you. All right, I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I never know what's going over there. It's very thoughtful of the folks at the Black Courage Awards. Oh, that's more than one. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Did you? Yep. You didn't do anything. You better get into the bowl pick'em.
I'll donate the money. I'm not getting in.
No, just get in it. Why would you not get in? No one knows who's winning the games. Just fill it out. It's for fun.
What's your war against college football?
I swear, I don't know what's going on with it. The number of people
that
are like
college football.
That are like, I hate college football. Why? You don't have to watch. Nobody's forcing you to do anything.
Watch. Don't worry.
Just pick the stupid games. Why are you making it seem like I'm holding a gun to your head?
Well, this is the first time you've said anything.
No, the first time I've said anything.
To me.
Give up.
You're not talking to anyone if you don't
sitting,
say their name.
He's sitting in the room right there. as
I've
I'm
heard you talking about it. Yeah.
And never have you thought,
I need
like,
a personal invitation. I've told you I'm making a donation.
I appreciate the donation, but why not get in? I'm so befuddled.
Okay, I'll do it. Here's
Something's
what
happened
I'll do.
to us as a
Can
society.
we throw darts at a board to pick or
This
something?
you can do just
yeah.
click whatever you want. No one knows.
I have to click on
This is like picking preseason football games. No one knows who's winning the games because we don't know who's playing in these games.
Similarly, I don't care.
Right, I understand. Just go through and pick them. Do you still do NCAA tournament polls every year?
Hate them.
Do you still do them?
I haven't in the last 2.
Well, look at you.
Unless you made me for something.
Look at you. You're accomplishing the things in your life by making a strong
By not
stand.
playing
Making a
stupid-
strong
No, I
stand.
just don't enjoy it.
John, nobody needs you to enjoy it.
I'll make a donation to your charity.
I give up, man.
What do
give
I
up.
click? I'll do it. What do I click?
Just Venmo me $20 and I'll send you a link.
Okay.
All right?
I'll do that.
John Colson. Thank you. What am I thanking you for? This is from Ed Block. Why? I'll thank you if you get into the bowl pick'em. Thank you to Ed Block for donating these autographed Zay Flowers pictures. I do greatly appreciate that, and I actually think that some might come in handy. Why did Brian not just come in and say hello?
He's a busy guy, you know.
He's leading our picks contest. He could have come in and bragged about that. Should call him real quick. What is he doing? Yes. Came in here and left like a thief in the night when he had done something nice. I was thankful and appreciative and wanted to say thank you to him. And instead, he was like, nope, I'm out of here. Maybe he's too... I'm going to ask this question. Is he too big for us now? Is that what's going on here? Is he above us? This is quite the moment in life. I don't know what's happening here and how I react to it. Feels like perhaps he just might be better than us. Tell him, just tell you you're putting him up. What the hell is going on around here? This is very bizarre. This guy leading the picks pool comes in to do something really nice and then leaves like he stole something from us. What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? You can't just say. What?
I gotta go to work.
Oh, he's gotta go to work. Well, you couldn't. Why didn't you just come in the studio?
Well, you know, it's funny. Remember, my first day at the station doesn't exist anymore. When I came into,
Yeah, but Drew didn't know who you were. Yes, for those that don't know,
I just walked into the studio right in front of Drew.
This is a true story. One day, Drew and I were doing the morning show, and Ryan was coming in to intern. It was his first day as an intern at the old radio station. Doesn't exist anymore. And Ryan just wandered into the studio where Drew is doing a live. Like, Drew's on the air, has no idea who Ryan is, and Ryan says, "I'm here to meet Glenn." And Drew's in the middle of well, I don't know. They could draft bowler. I don't know what the hell he's breaking down, but he's in the middle of a conversation, and Ryan just walks in like, "Hi, I'm here to see Glenn." And Drew just looks up like, "What the hell is this?"
And then, of course, I turn around and realize that you're on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, there I am, right there. Like, "Hi, buddy, right here. Come on in here. You can chat with me. It'll go much better for you." We also, this is a true story about Ryan. We pulled off one of my favorite old pranks at the radio station. Oh my God, I want to bring this back. When interns would start at the old radio station, I would tell them that Fridays were formal Fridays. Because during the week, at some companies you have casual Fridays, but at radio stations every day is casual. So what I would say,
we all look like squads.
I would say, hey, so the trade-off for that is on Fridays we do formal Fridays. So on Fridays everybody comes in suit and tie. We look nice on Fridays because the rest of the week you're allowed to look like a slob. So on Fridays, that's the one trade-off. It's still better than everywhere else. So you only get one day. You get 4 days of casual here, but over here, formal Fridays, right? And Ryan legitimately showed up on his first Friday in a full suit and tie.
I was listening to you.
For formal Friday.
You're a big star in the industry.
I was the first time I ever wore
I was really proud of that one. I got a few people with that, over the years. Some people would stupid Bachman would because Bachman was the best at playing pranks. But when I would try to play a prank, Bachman would start laughing halfway through it. I'd be like, "You asshole. I'm trying to pull one over on somebody and you can't even let me have fun with it." This is the hazing that I do is you have to wear a suit. What you have to do in a normal workplace. That's my hazing. Like, at least let me have that. And let's have some fun. I think that kid Logan showed up wearing a suit as well, and I felt really good about that.
Yes, he did.
I feel like there were some others over the years that I got with Formal Fridays. That was one of my favorite. I love that prank. I want to bring that prank back. I can't make that. We haven't had interns in a while. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. All right. Thank you to you and to the Ed Block Courage Awards. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that and supporting us. And congratulations on all of your success and picks. Do you want to make my picks for me this week?
No, not allowed.
No,
Ryan, no.
Well, we'll send a text. We'll send a text later on today.
Ryan, you're not allowed
Obviously,
to do that.
Ryan will not be making my picks. Clearly, I'm not going to do that. But it shouldn't be me.
I'll use the burner phone.
Yeah.
I'll use the burner phone.
It shouldn't be me making my picks because I have no idea what I'm doing. Although last week I did. I just picked against myself like an idiot, thinking that I don't. The funny part is if you look at my betting in my actual DraftKings betting app, like I'm not winning a lot of these picks, but apparently this is the one where I'm getting all the luck and success in. Well, you gotta leading with some comfort. All right, Ryan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, and please thank everybody over at Block for me. Love them.
We'll do, Glenn.
Very good. Thanks, pal. It's Ryan Shell. Thank you to the Block Courage Awards making that nice donation. We appreciate that. And John Colson did get in. Good guy, John Colson got in for the bracket contest. So. We got that going for us.
PFF
nice.
Sean's little brother's in as well. So
PFF Sean's little brother is in.
Yeah. PFF Grant.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me it's a whole PFF family. By the way, there's a weirder thing with Griffin has PFF Sean and a friend named Sean.
Yeah, it's true.
And I was going through to see if I needed to invite people from past bracket contests, and I was like,
real Sean isn't in yet.
Yeah, real Sean.
We've been texting him, every
the
hour.
hell is that all about?
I don't know.
This is one of these. I'm telling you, I
mean, he hasn't really even texted us back
the
much
bizarre,
this week, which is weird.
The bizarre pushback that people are like, oh, I don't really pay attention to college. Jesus Christ, man! Do you get into a block pool where it's pure luck, where you don't make a pick? Like this is not about. Griffin's doing some shtick where he's like, I know better. He doesn't know S.
I do.
He doesn't know anything.
I can give away my pick for the first game.
Stop it.
That's what we need.
Doesn't know any. I'm sure you know who's winning the Celebration Bowl. Sure.
Sorry, not the Celebration. I was going to do the
South Alabama, or whatever game that is.
The Western Michigan.
Salute the veterans game or whatever the hell that is. Christ, just get in for God's sakes. $20. Glenn-Clark on Venmo. Glenn Clark Radio on PayPal. Glenn Clark 180 on Cash App. Let's stop this nonsense. I just want to fill it up. 35 spots. I think we got like 9 left. So please, just fill it today so that tomorrow I don't have to act like a maniac anymore. What were we doing? We finished Tubular. We can do Tubular now. Did you play the thing?
I did, yeah.
Boy. I don't know what's going on around here. It's one of those days. All right, totally Tubular. Here's coming up. Nothing. It's a terrible
exams
terrible
week. No
terrible
college
night.
basketball.
I hear there was no Ravens again on week 2 of Hard
Yeah,
Knocks.
they were on bye, so they no, there were no Ravens.
Yeah, no, not like there was
no
anything huge to talk about. Not like the Justin Tucker and or Deontay Johnson situations would be.
I guess
good,
it'll be on
good fodder for
next week, maybe.
Well, he's not here this week.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he can
see what they do. See what they do. Why you got to tune in next week?
Yeah, sure. The NBA Cup quarterfinals continue, and I'm still alive after last night.
I'm still alive as well. Go Bucks.
Does that mean that we're playing against each other
on
Saturday? What?
I think I'm pretty sure it's like revert NBA Cup bracket.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom of this.
I'm pretty sure we do not play each other because
that's stupid. That's stupid. How would you have the teams? This is
I don't. They haven't even announced. So maybe
something as sacred as the NBA Cup.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, I will get the winner of. I will.
My Bucks. You will,
my Bucks will get.
No,
it's
actually you're going to play in the game.
Yeah,
it's you versus the Knicks.
Yes, exactly. The Knicks or the Hawks,
right.
Whoever wins tonight, and then you get the winner of Rockets Warriors.
Something the sanctity of this is ruined by not having them have equal rest. Like for a championship, you're not letting them have equal rest to play for a semifinals.
Is the NBA Cup
for a championship?
There's a lot of thought that goes into this. I'm sure they have their reasons. And they're each going to have
ESPN,
2+ days of rest anyway.
Hawks, Knicks, 7 o'clock on ESPN. TNT. They're splitting them up over networks, too. What is that? TNT, Warriors, Rockets, 9:30. Everybody just competing to have the rights.
So it's Patrick Davis on the Knicks versus the.
We did this yesterday.
Vince. Oh, okay, we did.
Yeah.
All right.
TNT, Rangers, Sabres, 7 o'clock. It's also on True TV. College Hoops tonight, nothing. Really, it's bad. Colgate, Kentucky at 8 on ESPN2. Bryant, St. John's at 7 on CBS Sports Network. FS1 for Fairleigh Dickinson Villanova at 7 o'clock. The Iowa State and Iowa women play at 9 on FS1. I don't think that's quite as appealing this year to folks as it was last year when the Iowa women were on national TV. Champions League this afternoon, AC Milan and Red Star Belgrade, 3 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, and TBS for AW Dynamite at 8. Non-sports?
Where do we want to go non-sports-wise here? Really not a whole lot. On Disney Plus, we've got Dream Productions, new series. It's it's a middling show between Inside Out 1 and Inside Out 2, and it's about the dream production thing that they do, because when you have dreams, there's like they do the bit where there's a big studio that puts
those
on.
were good films.
Yeah,
they were good films.
Yeah.
I'd look at
so
that.
a quick little kid series on Disney Plus. Let's see. Netflix has Angelina Jolie is Maria Callas, and it's a movie called Maria. It looks pretty good. She's like an opera singer. That was from the 1970s, and it's about her life. I don't know anything about it, but I watched the trailer. I still couldn't really figure out what it was about, but it looks well done.
Okay,
and it's a big time movie with Angelina Jolie.
She's something.
Nicholas Hoult and Nikki Glaser on Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay, what are they plugging? They're plugging. Hang on a second. Oh, they're plugging the Bob Dylan movie, obviously.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to know what they are plugging or not?
Because doesn't Nikki Glaser play Bobby Dylan, the stripper singer that Jenny from Forrest Gump? Wasn't she supposed to be Bobby Dylan when she was nakedly playing the guitar? Wouldn't they introduce her as and now Bobby Dylan? Wasn't that? Am I right?
That might be right.
I feel like that was a thing.
Since I watched
What Nikki Glaser's plugging her? I mean, she's
hosting the Golden Globes.
When is that?
January, I guess, right?
She's on now.
I'm guessing because they're going to want to rerun this Kimmel over the holidays. Nick Holt is in Nosferatu.
Sure.
Because they keep pumping out these vampire movies. Bill Skarsgård and William Dafoe also, when it comes out Christmas Day.
Okay.
Nosferatu. Dua Lipa will be on Colbert.
A nice family film, Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Get the whole family together to go see it.
I mean, it does look horrifying. So Ray Romano will be on Fallon because they are in a
Ice Age 70.
I wish. They're doing No Good Deed with Lisa Kudrow on Netflix. I think it's a series. Yeah, I think it's a show. Tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I can
sure
check.
it is.
Yeah, Netflix show tomorrow where they are selling. Ray Romano and Lisa Kudrow are selling a house that apparently to a bunch of different families that all really want the house badly.
Okay.
So that's on Netflix. Kyle Mooney will be on Seth Meyers because he's actually making his directorial debut in a movie called Y2K. It is an A24 film, and like high school students try to survive Y2K, and like Y2K actually happens where like the technology takes over.
How about that?
And Jonah Hill's is like a producer or something, so it does have some super bad vibes to it somewhat.
I'm a big fan of that.
I don't know when I didn't get the release date though. I don't know when this comes out. Maybe it's theaters only. I don't know. But yeah, those
That's it.
Those are the highlights for you.
Thanks today to Drew, I guess. Don't forget about we got to hold him to the bet. We got to work on that. And we got to find last week's bet, so find that. Thanks to Ken Niumatalolo. Thanks to Angry Mike Bordick. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the
Can You Take Me Higher?
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com.
Did you see they did a Creed Rudolph? Have you seen these like Christmas music? Like they have like I guess it's AI, but like it was a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but it was like Creed.
Well,
and higher.
I have not,
like
but what I would tell you is there's no way it's anywhere. It's the greatest Christmas song of all time, of course, is DMX doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which my kids ask for once a day during the holiday season, and I happily oblige because it's the best. Anyway, thanks to them. Tomorrow,
we're gonna do college basketball with Jordan Taylor.
Jordan Taylor, Big Ten Network will join us, talk some Terps with him.
And then stuff and things.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe the Orioles will sign somebody.
That'd be nice, but...
Or trade.
Yikes. Don't forget, Reed and I tonight, 6 to 9 over on 105.7 The Fan. We're going to do book club for the John Benet Ramsey series that was on Netflix at 6. So if you haven't watched it, watch it this afternoon and then hang out with us for book club. And I'll be with Stan the Fan later on today. Stan, a huge get for him. Like, massive guest for his show. I'm a guest with Stan the Fan.
You going to be plugging
this
Glenn
afternoon.
Clark Radio?
No, I'm actually plugging Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. What did you do with
Yeah. Just really excited about it. Can't wait to take the kids on Christmas. Kids, they open all the gifts. They're like, now what? I'm like, Nosferatu. My son's like, I want to watch the Ravens game. And then I slap him. And then everybody's like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, well, he doesn't understand the
Go to watch
greatness
it.
of Nosferatu.
Might be able to get it in before the Ravens game.
Maybe.
Could.
Maybe we'll sneak it in. Yeah, that'll be today. All right. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Visit Hartford, Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Royal Farms, The Governor's Challenge, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costa Sin, MSAA, Maryland Sports, Baltimore Orioles, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go nobody at all. Duke sucks.